Chapter 557. While all the humans in the Alliance were immersed in Babata's words, in the vast space, a silver-gray spaceship was rapidly approaching Earth. What a beautiful azure planet! It's a color that makes one's heart flutter. In the spaceship's control room, a tall and handsome man wearing a silver battle uniform was excited. He looked excitedly at the blue planet displayed on the external virtual screen and couldn't help but sigh. Yes! If it wasn't for the first-order stellar-level energy wave, we wouldn't have been able to discover it. This color is too mesmerizing. In the Empire's map, this planet isn't marked, which means it's most likely an ownerless object. An ownerless planet that represents status, represents money. The other crew members' gazes also landed on the blue planet on the virtual screen, looking at each other with excitement. Soon, the spaceship appeared above the Pacific Ocean. The appearance of the spaceship was not detected by any instruments on Earth. Reporting to the captain, this planet is in the shape of an irregular ellipsoid with a slight bulge in the middle. It has a surface area of 510 million square kilometers, 71% of which is ocean, 29% of which is land. The interior has a core, mantle, and shell structure, and the exterior has a hydrosphere, atmosphere, and magnetic field. There is almost no gravity on the planet's surface, 11 universal standard gravity units. Among them, there are signs of life. In just a few seconds, an AI robot in the spaceship quickly reported some simple data on Earth. A planet with signs of life? That's even more valuable. As the captain, after hearing the basic information about Earth, especially when he heard that there were signs of life, his expression became more and more excited, even showing a hint of craziness. Everyone, if I'm not wrong, this planet is ownerless. Now we have successfully landed, and are the first team in the Empire to discover this planet. The captain's gaze swept across the crew members. However, especially at this time, we can't be careless. After all, we know almost nothing about it. Although the probability of a powerful warrior being born on an ownerless planet is extremely low, there are many such cases. We can't fail miserably. In the Empire's records, there was a case where a team of scouts accidentally discovered an ownerless planet, but they didn't expect that there was a universe-level warrior on the planet, and in the end, the entire team was almost wiped out. Understood. The other 8 officers spoke at the same time, unable to hide the excitement in their expressions. If there really is a universe-level warrior on this planet, then we only have 2 options. One is to inform the slave merchants of the Empire, and the other is to inform the family and have them send experts here. The captain spoke again with a solemn expression. Although an ownerless planet was very tempting to them, their lives were more important. Atuka, begin a comprehensive survey of this planet. Obtain detailed information about this planet as soon as possible. The man who was the captain looked at the control panel and gave instructions to the smart module. Reporting to the captain, this planet has been fully covered by the information network. In less than a minute, a mechanical voice came from the control panel. I can hack into the network and get more comprehensive information. Very good. Hearing this, the captain and the 8 crew members' eyes flashed with surprise, and then they became even more excited. 3 minutes later. Reporting to the captain, all data has been collected. Inside the spaceship, as the captain and 8 crew members waited anxiously, the intelligent module made a sound. Report the data of the experts immediately. Hearing this, the captain's eyes lit up and asked. Among all the information, they were most concerned about the experts. If the experts on a planet were stronger than them, then their AI would temporarily retreat. However, if the experts on the planet were weaker than them, then the planet would be left to their own devices. After obtaining the most benefits, they would report it to the Empire and receive rewards. The race that controls this planet is humans, known as Earth. There are a total of 7 billion people. The number of apprentices is close to 1 million. There are a total of 2 star travelers. As for star levels, there are 0. The intelligent module replied. What? Not even a star level? After hearing the report, the atmosphere in the spaceship changed and became extremely strange. The captain and the 8 crew members were dumbfounded. Ha! There's not a single star level. After a long while, the man who was the captain was the first to react. He was the first to laugh out loud. This is great. I didn't expect the experts on this planet to be so weak. The strongest is only a star traveler, and there are only 2 of them. In that case, even if I act alone, I can easily take down this planet. We're rich. We're really rich this time. The 8 crew members reacted one after another and shouted excitedly. Their team had a total of 9 people, including the captain. 3 of them were star levels, especially the captain, who was a star level 9. As for the other 6, they were all star level 9. Quickly report the location of the 2 star levels. Go capture them directly and tell everyone on this planet that it belongs to us. In the spaceship's control room, Bulyo was in high spirits. He was the captain of this spaceship. Yes, Captain! The 8 crew members led by Lei Xiao and Yon Noa responded in unison. Reporting to Captain, the location of the first and second strongest Hong and Thunder God have been confirmed. They are at the Alliance headquarters and have been marked. A mechanical voice came from the control room. Depart, destination, the Alliance headquarters. The 8 crew members were excited. After shouting excitedly, they each drove a mini aircraft and turned into a stream of light, crossing the ocean and heading toward the Alliance headquarters. At this moment, in the Alliance headquarters conference hall, the higher-ups, including the Alliance leader, fell into silence after listening to Babada's description of this vast world. By now, they had deeply realized their insignificance. In this vast universe, there were too many terrifying existences. There were even some existences that could wipe out a planet like Earth with just a thought. Sir, you are our savior. Why don't you buy the rights to Earth from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire? The strange atmosphere in the conference hall was broken by the Alliance leader. Yes. Sir, why don't you just be the Lord of Earth? Hearing the Alliance leader's words, the higher-ups of the Alliance seemed to have thought of a countermeasure. At the same time, they looked at Chu Bei with anticipation in their eyes. Hong and Thunder God looked at each other and nodded. Obviously, they agreed with the Alliance leader's suggestion. If Earth would have a lord one day, then this mysterious savior who could wipe out the giant star beasts would be the most suitable. I also don't belong to the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. I will leave soon, Chu Bei said. After seeing everyone's worried face, he smiled. But before I leave, I will temporarily take over the position of Lord and protect your safety. Even if I leave, I will ensure that no one in this vast universe dares to have any ideas about Earth. Sir, do you have enough Black Dragon coins? I don't know how much Black Dragon coins our Earth is worth. I don't know if our Alliance can gather that much. The Alliance leader seemed to have thought of something and frowned. Don't talk about your Alliance. Even if there were 10 more of you, you wouldn't be able to buy the rights to this planet. Babada poured cold water on him. Don't worry. Since I have agreed to be the Lord here, even if I don't have money, it is still mine. As for the Black Dragon Mountain Empire that you're worried about, when the time comes, I'll just make a trip there. Chu Bei's lips curled into a smile, with a calm and indifferent expression. The Savior has become the Lord of Earth. That's for the best. So that we won't be taken over by the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Listening to that sir's words, is he prepared to spend money to buy from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire? Why do you think he should? For our own home, we still have to give money to the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. After the humans of the entire Alliance heard the conversation in the Alliance's meeting room, they all fell into an intense discussion. Some were happy, some were angry with the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. There is a foreign ship approaching. It doesn't belong to Earth. Suddenly, in the meeting room, Babada's expression changed, letting out a sound. What? A ship that doesn't belong to Earth. Hearing Babada's words, the upper echelon of the Alliance's headquarters all froze, their bodies trembling. They wouldn't doubt Babada's words, only saying that Earth's detection system was too weak, unable to detect these ships that came from the vast universe. Don't tell me there are so-called powerful scouts that have found Earth? It can't be that fast. The Alliance leader swallowed his saliva and couldn't help but guess. If it was really as he guessed, then they would be in big trouble. Even though they had decided to let Chu Bei become the Lord of Earth, it was still just a verbal agreement. It hadn't been recognized by the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's laws. If it was just the energy ripples of a star traveler, it wouldn't be easy to detect. However, the energy that the golden horned beast released before its death was already close to a star level 2. Babata tidied his clothes, his gaze sweeping across the upper echelon of the Alliance. This energy is enough to attract the attention of the scouts. Hence, even if these invading ships are really scouts, there's nothing to be surprised about. This is within our expectations. At this time, above the Alliance's headquarters, at a height of 3,000 meters, 8 mini airships appeared from space. A silhouette walked out from every one of them. Civilization sure is backward. Our ships have already stopped here and they still can't detect us. A green-skinned lady said proudly. The huge building below is the marked location. The 2 strongest star travelers should be inside. A black gorilla man said. Chapter 558. It's really funny. The 2 most powerful people on this planet are no match for me. Planet-level ants can't even live for more than 3 days in the vast universe. Lei Xiao sneered. He was one of the 2 stellar-level powerhouses other than the captain, and was the most senior among the 8 crew members. Once we take down this planet, we can have a good rest, said the man named Niu No. He was another stellar-level powerhouse. Facing some indigenous planets that had not integrated into the universe, they naturally had a sense of superiority. No, we've been discovered. Someone is coming out. They're watching us. At this moment, another crew member spoke up and pointed down, his eyes filled with astonishment. On the sky garden on the top floor of the building, figures appeared one after another and all of them looked up at the sky. Interesting. We underestimated the detection system of this planet. But one thing is right. The strongest person is really only an 8th order planet warrior. Lei Xiao lowered his head and looked down. His gaze landed on Hong with a look of disdain. Let's go down and meet these natives. Niu No laughed loudly. As soon as his voice fell, he stepped on the aircraft and flew straight down. In an instant, 8 figures appeared above the building and looked at the higher-ups of the Alliance mockingly. On behalf of the Human Alliance, I welcome you to visit Earth. Looking at the 8 figures that appeared out of thin air above, the Alliance leader quickly calmed down after the initial shock. Look at the sky. Are those 8 guys aliens? What's their purpose for coming to Earth? Is he really a talent scout? Are they trying to occupy Earth? At this moment, the eyes of humans all over the world were focused on Lei Xiao, Niu No, and the other 8 scouts on the screen. Among the 8 figures, some were huge men like chimpanzees, some had elf ears and were extremely handsome, some had green skin, and some had reddish-brown skin. They had all kinds of characteristics that were different from ordinary humans. An 8th order planet warrior and a 7th order planet warrior. How boring! Lei Xiao had a smile on the corner of his mouth, and there was a sense of superiority in his eyes as he looked down on the natives. May I know what business do you have on Earth? Sensing the ridicule and disdain in Lei Xiao's eyes, the expressions of the Alliance leader, Hong, God of Thunder, and the others turned ugly. Vigilance filled their eyes. The planet you're living on is ownerless. I'm too lazy to go into the details. In short, this planet belongs to us. As for you, you are our accessories. Lei Xiao stood in the air and looked down at the upper echelons. From now on, we are your masters. Lei Xiao's deep voice reverberated throughout the entire building. With the transmission of the media, it soon spread to every corner of the Alliance. Accessory? Sure enough, they don't come with good intentions. Upon hearing Lei Xiao's words, the faces of the Alliance's upper echelons turned even gloomier. These aliens are really here to occupy our Earth. And they want us to be their slaves. How hateful! I just don't know how strong they are compared to the giant star beasts. All the humans in the Alliance clenched their fists and looked at Lei Xiao's group with hostility. What a bunch of noisy ants! Lei Xiao seemed to have heard the discussions of the upper echelons as he shouted coldly. As soon as he said that, his gaze landed on Hong. A black spear appeared in his hand and he threw it out. With a swoosh, the black spear cut through the void with terrifying power. Wherever it passed, there would be a rumbling sound. Stellar level. It's not weaker than the giant star beasts. Damn it! Sensing the terrifying aura of the black spear, Hong, God of Thunder, and the others narrowed their eyes and tensed up. However, just as they were about to activate their territories to block the terrifying attack, the black spear shattered. The next moment, a loud bang sounded in everyone's ears. The sound was like something had exploded. Following the source of the sound, Lei Xiao, who was looking down on them in disdain a moment ago, turned into a pile of minced meat. Before the crowd could exclaim, the minced meat seemed to have been squeezed by a terrifying force and turned into nothingness. What? What happened? Why did Big Brother Lei Xiao disappear? That explosion just now and that pile of minced meat that disappeared. Could it be Big Brother Lei Xiao? He's dead. Looking at the empty spot where Lei Xiao was originally standing, Niu Nuo, the chimpanzee, the green-skinned woman, and the other 4 crew members were completely stunned. What happened just now was too sudden and caught them off guard. They were at a loss. A second ago, their big brother Lei Xiao was still attacking that insignificant planetary state level 8, but in the next second, that planetary state level 8 was fine, but he was blasted into nothingness. Not even his bones were left. That guy who wanted to make us slaves is dead. Good kill. It's silent. It must be the Savior's doing. That's right. It must be the Savior. All the humans in the Alliance reacted and were excited. Who is it? In the sky above the building, Niu Nuo looked around, trying to find something. It was not hard to hear the fear in his voice. Who told you that it's ownerless? It's my territory. With a step, Chu Bei's figure disappeared from the spot. His indifferent voice also spread all over the world at this moment, shaking everyone's heart. Looking at the man who suddenly appeared in front of him out of thin air, Niu Nuo was so scared that his body trembled. He instinctively retreated quickly with a vigilant face. How could it be you? There's clearly no energy fluctuation on your body. Seeing Chu Bei's appearance, Niu Nuo and the 6 crew members behind him showed a bewildered and surprised expression at the same time. At their level of cultivation, anyone who glanced at them would have an impression of them. It was precisely because there was no energy fluctuation on the other party that they ignored this person at the beginning. It's you who killed Big Brother Lei Xiao, the green-skinned woman said with fear in her voice. The content of your previous words has already determined your fate. Chu Bei looked at Niu Nuo and the others calmly with an expressionless face. Sir, I surrender. I surrender too. Don't kill us. Meeting Chu Bei's cold gaze and hearing his cold and indifferent voice, Niu Nuo, the chimpanzee man, the green-skinned woman and the others chose to surrender at the first moment. Although they came with a mission and the weakest person had the strength of a planet level 9, they were not fools. Even the stellar level Lei Xiao was silently killed by the other party. If they resisted, there would only be one result, and that was death. The reason for the current situation was because of the **TAI system on their spaceship. The information they obtained after invading the system told them that the strongest person was only a planet level 8. But the truth was that on this planet, there were people who far surpassed the planet level. Even those who could easily obliterate a stellar level must be at least a universe-level super powerhouse. Sir, you may not know, but the planet you are on belongs to the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. And we are the exploration team of the Empire. We are specifically responsible for searching for undiscovered planets. If we have offended you this time, we sincerely ask for your forgiveness. Niu Nuo quickly added without hesitation and even mentioned the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Chu Bei laughed. Looking at Niu Nuo, he didn't say anything and shot out a beam of light. Pun! Another low muffled sound. The stellar level Niu Nuo didn't even have time to react before he was reduced to nothing. No, don't. What you are doing now is completely ignoring the laws of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. You are not putting the Empire in your eyes. Even if you are a universe-level warrior, you cannot escape the Empire's judgment. With Neo-No's death, the remaining 6 crew members became even more frantic, completely sinking into fear. The 6 crew members didn't hesitate and immediately returned to the mini-flying devices. However, before they could even control the mini-flying devices to escape, space warped and both the people and the devices were reduced to nothing. At the same time, above the Pacific Ocean, within a spaceship's cockpit, a black-clothed man stared blankly at the scene unfolding on the screen. He was stunned, his legs stumbled and he collapsed onto the chair. Universe. Universe level. Why is it like this? Bullio was in a daze, muttering to himself. Following which, as though he had thought of something, he stood up and slammed his hands on the control panel. Didn't you say that the strongest person was only a planet level 8? Then how did this universe-level warrior come about? If you can't give me an explanation, I will smash you today. Bullio roared, his roar filled with rage, his eyes bloodshot. Whether it was Lei Xiao, Neo-No, or the other 6 crew members, they were all companions who had followed him for a long time. They were born together as if they were dead, but now, because of a single mistake, they were all buried on this unknown planet. Reporting, Captain, the information I have intercepted from the cloud ended yesterday. However, just now, there was another wave of information. Please take a look. The AI system let out a sound, following which an image appeared on the screen. In the image was the scene of the Golden Horn Beast attacking the war base and the human alliance resisting the Golden Horn Beast. It included the scene of Hong and Thunder God teaming up against the Space Beast, as well as the scene of Chu Bei instantly killing the Space Beast. Those 2 Star Traveler level ants actually have their own domains. What terrifying talents! Looking at the entire Black Dragon Mountain Empire, to have 2 Star Travelers with their own domains appear on one planet, it's extremely rare. Seeing Hong and Thunder God unleash their domains, Bullio's face revealed a look of shock. This is... Suddenly, Bullio shrank back in pain, his gaze fixed on the Golden Horn Beast in the image. That shocked expression was as though he had remembered something. Chapter 559. As a direct descendant of the Nulinshan family, he had received an excellent education since young, and was considered an extremely qualified and outstanding talent scout of the Empire. Within the Virtual Universe Network, he had seen the introduction of some of the most terrifying space beasts, and amongst them was this brutal and bloodthirsty beast. Golden Horn Beast, it's actually a Golden Horn Beast. Star level, an infant Golden Horn Beast, how could it appear on this planet? Such a young Golden Horn Beast, if we can capture it alive, that would be worth more than 10 planets. After recognizing the Golden Horn Beast, Bullio couldn't help but take a deep breath, shocked yet excited. This was an incomparably huge amount of wealth. There would definitely be universe-level warriors or even undying beings willing to pay a huge price to purchase such a top-level bloodline infant space beast. However, very quickly, Bullio's expression became ugly again, because he saw the scene of Chu Bei destroying the Golden Horn Beast's soul sea. Isn't this punk afraid of the Space Beast clan's revenge? Luckily the corpse is still here, we can still sell it for some money. Bullio looked at the scene in the video, muttering to himself, after which he seemed to have thought of something. Looking at the control panel, his expression became gloomy again. If you had released these scenes earlier, how could the 8 of them have died? Bullio's roar was filled with rage, his gaze fixed on Chu Bei, his fist couldn't help but clench tightly, punching the control panel. Help me contact the clan right now, tell them about this planet. Do. In just a few seconds, the AI system projected an image out of thin air. In the virtual projection, a middle-aged man with sharp ears, slightly red eyes, extremely handsome, and somewhat similar to Bullio, appeared. Old clan leader! How could it be you? Recognizing the middle-aged man in the image, Bullio's body trembled. After reacting, his expression immediately became respectful. Obviously, this middle-aged man's appearance had caught Buluo off guard. The Nulinshan family, a newly risen powerful family in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, including the current one, there were a total of 3 clan leaders. When they were leaders, these 3 had already reached the universe level. The current clan leader was Buluo Nulinshan's grandfather. And the one before him was the second clan leader, over 10 generations higher than Buluo. His strength had already reached universe level 6. You are Buluo, the one who sent the message back? In the projection, the second patriarch looked at Buluo with a smile. I know very little about the younger generation of the family. This should be the first time I'm talking to you. Yes, old patriarch. Buluo's face was flushed, and he was extremely respectful. The excitement in his eyes was difficult to conceal, and he seemed to have forgotten that 8 of his companions had been killed. Ever since he was born, although he had seen the old patriarch from afar, he had never had the qualifications to talk to him. This was the first time. Those who grow up under the protection of their families are ultimately fragile. For someone like you who can serve as a scout in the Empire, adventuring and wandering in the universe can sharpen the edge that belongs to the strong. The old family leader looked at Buluo, his eyes filled with praise. Our Nulinshan family has always judged our clansmen based on their contributions and strength. For you to be able to discover an ownerless planet and immediately inform the family, that is extremely rare. I've decided to give you 100 billion Black Dragon coins as a reward, and also give you the position of clan head. Junior thanks old patriarch for your kindness. Hearing the words clan head, Buluo's eyes stared wide open. Unlike the normal elders of the family, even if a clan head made a huge mistake, he wouldn't be removed from his position, and most his benefits would be reduced. I've already found out the location of this ownerless planet. I've just sent out a universe-level elder. They will meet up with you very soon, the old patriarch said. Don't worry, old patriarch. Before the elders of the family arrive, Junior will definitely guard this planet and not let anyone else get it. Buluo patted his chest excitedly and guaranteed. Rumble, rumble, rumble. However, just as Buluo's words landed, the ship started shaking violently, including the entire control panel. Reporting, Captain, there's an external energy intrusion. At this time, the AI system's voice transmitted. Buluo, what's happening on your side? The old patriarch in the projection seemed to have sensed something, as he let out an anxious voice. Rumble. However, just as the old patriarch's voice transmitted from the projection, following a rumble, the projection was cut off. Black Dragon Mountain Empire, Nulinshan family. Old patriarch, what's happening on Buluo's side? Several elders at the side noticed that the old patriarch's expression had turned ugly, and they asked respectfully. You all head out now. According to the coordinates Buluo sent back, you must rush to that planet as quickly as possible. The old patriarch ordered. Yes, old patriarch. The few elders who received the order all bowed at the same time, before disappearing from space. On the other side. In the skies above the Alliance headquarters, everyone's faces were filled with shock as they raised their heads, staring blankly above, their mouths wide open. High up in the skies, a translucent rippling giant palm appeared out of nowhere. Within the palm was a strangely shaped ship. It was the ship Buluo was in. That's an alien ship? Don't tell me there are aliens inside. That giant palm should be Lord Savior's doing? All the humans in the Alliance focused their attention on the image of the ship, discussing fervently. Pun! Another loud rumble, the ship exploded, becoming countless fragments of light. This is... Looking at the familiar scene that had appeared on the control panel, Buluo's pupils shrank. The moment he saw Chu Bei, an instinctive sense of fear welled up within him. A moment ago, he was still in the skies above the Pacific Ocean, talking to the old patriarch on the phone. However, the next moment, he was actually being held captive in the skies above the Alliance headquarters. This level of ability was simply too terrifying. His original plan was to leave Earth in his ship after speaking to the old patriarch on the phone, monitor Earth from space, and wait for the arrival of the patriarch's universe-level warrior. I'm just a scout for the Empire. You can't kill me. Buluo looked at Chu Bei in shock, the only one present who could have such a mysterious ability. It could only be this universe-level warrior who had killed 8 of his comrades with a wave of his hand. Chu Bei didn't make a sound, only calmly looking at Buluo, after which a beam of light shot into Buluo's forehead. The next moment, Buluo's pupils dilated, as though he had lost consciousness. However, very quickly he returned to normal, only his forehead was covered in cold sweat. "What did you do to me?" Buluo's expression was one of fear. The gaze he used to look at Chu Bei with was even more fearful. Just earlier, his brain had been invaded by a strange energy, causing him to momentarily freeze. The Nulinshan family even sent a universe-level warrior here. Interesting. Chu Bei spoke, his words carrying a hint of laughter. "You read my memories." Hearing Chu Bei's words, Buluo's face turned pale. Since the opponent knew beforehand that the Nulinshan family would send a universe-level warrior here, then the opponent could definitely rush to the Black Dragon Mountain Empire to purchase the ownership rights of this unknown planet before the warriors from their family. The moment this planet had an owner, then it would truly have no fate with their family. At that time, if they were to make a move, they would be judged to have violated the Empire's laws, receiving the Empire's punishment. Even though their family was very strong, in front of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, it was still not worth mentioning. Chapter 560. You actually know how to look for reinforcements. It's a pity, your understanding of me is too little. Chu Bei looked calmly at Buluo, a smile at the corner of his mouth. The elder of the clan that you are waiting for will come to find you very soon. Hearing Chu Bei's cold words, Buluo was stunned. After reacting, he hurriedly said, "No, no! You cannot kill me! I am already a lifetime elder of the Nulinshan family. If you kill me, the head of the family will definitely not let you off." However, the moment his words left his mouth, an incomparably terrifying energy had already spread throughout his entire body. In the next moment, following a pitiful scream, Buluo's body exploded, returning to nothingness. "Lord, this group of invading aliens, have you settled them all?" Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. After communicating with their eyes, they looked at Chu Bei and asked respectfully. Chu Bei's gaze swept past Hong and Thunder God, nodding slightly in acknowledgement. Hearing that, Hong and Thunder God were overjoyed. The alliance leader beside them walked up. "Lord, this Nulinshan family is the third largest family of the Kalo Empire, a subsidiary country of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. The Kalo Empire is similar to the Milky Way Empire where Earth is located. Both are elementary civilizations of the universe." Chu Bei's gaze swept past the alliance leader, his expression calm. "However, this Kalo Empire is far stronger than the Milky Way Empire. Within the 500-plus subsidiary countries of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, they are ranked in the top 3. The strongest warrior of the Empire has even surpassed the universe level, stepping into the domain lord level." "Lord, then what is the strength of the strongest warrior of the Nulinshan family? We killed their people, do they know?" The alliance leader seemed to have thought of something, opening his mouth to ask again. Chu Bei's expression didn't change, saying, "The first head of the family, universe level 9. Their people will be here soon. Universe level warrior!" In the meeting hall, the upper echelons had all heard of the universe level before. They knew how terrifying a warrior of this level was. Hence, when they found out that the first head of the Nulinshan family was already universe level 9, they couldn't help but feel a chill in their hearts, inhaling a breath of cold air. In their opinion, the reason Chu Bei had been able to kill Space Beast, Buluo, and the others so easily was because he might have been a universe-level great being. And today, the head of the Nulinshan family was also a universe-level warrior, and a pinnacle existence. How could they not be worried? "Since I'm your temporary lord, I will ensure your safety. Don't worry." Chu Bei's gaze swept across the alliance leader and the other higher-ups. After giving them a reassuring look, he said, "Although you guys have already started to pay attention to cultivation, with your current cultivation methods, it will be as difficult as ascending to the heavens to reach the planet state." At this point, Chu Bei cleared his throat. I need to increase the strength of the Alliance. Sir, what do you mean by that? The Alliance leader vaguely guessed something, and his expression became somewhat agitated. I want to establish a force similar to the Dojo of Limits and the Palace of Ares in every corner of the world. It will be called Celestial Shops. Inside the Celestial Shops, we will sell all sorts of cultivation items. Anyone who wants to cultivate can enter the Celestial Shops and buy the corresponding treasures to cultivate. Chu Bei continued. Celestial Shops? Sir, what are they selling? Hong and Thunder God probed, with an expression of eagerness. Chu Bei nodded. You will know soon. As long as you frequent it, you will be able to reach the planetary state in 3 years, or even a month. What? The fastest we will be able to reach the planetary state in a month. Oh my God! That's too crazy. If it's true, then wouldn't people like me, who don't have much talent, only need 3 years to reach the planetary state? That's unbelievable. The moment the words came out of Chu Bei's mouth, it immediately caused a great uproar. On the top floor of the skyscraper, the eyes of the higher-ups of the Alliance were filled with excitement. Even Hong and Thunder God, who were already planet-grade powerhouses, couldn't wait to see the All-Heavens shop. At the same time, the humans of the Alliance in front of the screen were boiling, and the noise spread to every corner. Jian Region's third high school. On the main road of the school, a group of students were dancing. Su Xian, did you hear that? Our leader is going to create a force called the Celestial Shops. Everyone can visit and buy the corresponding treasures to cultivate. Wei Wen clenched his fist and looked at Su Xian beside him, extremely excited. Yes, I will definitely visit the Celestial Shops. To become a powerful warrior. Su Xian's gaze was resolute. Luo Feng is now our leader's disciple. When the time comes, we will definitely get him to teach us well. Wei Wen laughed loudly. South Shore District, Luo Feng's home. Mom, my leg is already healed. When the Celestial Shops are established, I will immediately go and take a look. In the house, Luo Hua clenched his fist, his eyes filled with anticipation. The era of universal martial arts has really arrived. If I can really become a planetary state fighter in 3 years, that would be great. Luo Hongwa put out the cigarette in his hand. On this day, the Alliance's leader announced for Chu Bei that anywhere in the world where there were people, there would be a Celestial Shops. On the second day, the Celestial Shops were established. There were already no less than 10,000 shops of all sizes. As for the headquarters of the Celestial Shops in this plane, it was set in the center of the continent, right next to the Alliance's main building. On the third day, all the Celestial Shops were opened. Every one of them was packed to the brim. On the fourth day, the Alliance's surveillance system issued a global warning that there was a large-scale invasion from outside. Ever since the Earth Alliance successfully established the Celestial Shops in every corner of the world, in just 3 days, the Celestial Shops were on the right track. However, on the fourth day, the entire Alliance's Level 1 alarm sounded. Different from the invasion of Bulyo and the others, this invasion of Earth wasn't hidden at all. It was completely exposed without any restraint. What's with this alarm? Don't tell me, another danger has appeared? Damn! It really hasn't been peaceful recently. Do you guys think it has something to do with the Nulinshan family? Quickly look in the sky, there are 2 battleships appearing. The alarm sounded. The humans of the Alliance immediately tensed up. They all instinctively stopped what they were doing and looked around. Very quickly, they turned their gazes to the distant skies. There, they saw 2 incomparably huge battleships appear from space. On each battleship, there were hundreds of small universe ships parked. On the deck of the battleship flying in front, there were 3 men dressed in gray robes. Behind them, there were 30 black silhouettes. Behind the black silhouettes, there were over 1,000 green-clothed men. Within the Nulinshan family, different statuses wore different colors of robes. Like the 3 gray-robed men at the front, their cultivation levels had all reached the universe level. They were the high-level elders of the Nulinshan family. As for the 30 black silhouettes, They were all 9 stars pinnacle star-level warriors. As for the 1,000 green-clothed men at the back, their cultivation levels were Star Travelers 8 and above and Star Travelers 9 and below. Damn it! It must be them! Nulan Shan's people, they really came! The humans of the Alliance stared blankly at the battleships in the sky, their expressions becoming tense. 3 universe levels, 36 Star Travelers 9 and above, 600 Star Travelers 1 and below, 400 Star Travelers. At the same time, within the meeting room of the Alliance headquarters, Babata explained the power distribution of the 2 battleships. 3 universe-level warriors came all of a sudden! Hearing Babata's words, the Alliance leader, Hong, and the upper echelons all had serious expressions. Even though they knew that the Nulan Shan family would be arriving soon and were prepared, they never would have thought that there would be 3 universe-level warriors leading the group. If that was the case, there was no point in them repairing the laser cannons. Even the Star Travelers didn't fear the laser cannons, much less the terrifying universe-level beings. Everyone immediately enter a state of alert. The Alliance leader looked at the huge battleships filled with people above and immediately gave the order. His voice spread throughout the entire Alliance. I wonder if the leader can deal with these people. The upper echelons of the Alliance subconsciously looked towards Chu Bei's direction, their faces filled with worry. In front of the interstellar fleet from the Nulan Shan family, they had no way to resist. They could only place their hopes on this mysterious leader of unknown origins. High up in the sky. Elder Pu De, according to the coordinates Bulyo sent back, it's definitely this planet. We've already successfully connected to this planet's network. It's exactly as Bulyo described, it's indeed an ownerless planet. Also, 4 days ago, the silhouette of the Golden Horn Beast appeared. It's a pity that the Golden Horn Beast was killed and only its corpse was left behind. Within the battleship, a star-level warrior used the AI system to capture the relevant information of Earth and immediately reported to the tall man in the middle of the 3 universe-level warriors. I got it. The man called Pu Din nodded slightly. His gaze focused, and he said solemnly, Bulyo's energy has disappeared. What? Bulyo's energy has disappeared? Don't tell me, he's already dead. Was it done by the universe-level warrior on this planet? Damn it! He's not putting our Nulan Shan family in his eyes. Hearing Pu Dao's words, the 1,000 Nulan Shan guards were stunned, filled with shock. After reacting, their faces were extremely gloomy. Pu Da hovered at the head of the battleship. With a buzzing sound, a screen appeared in front of him. On the screen, a man appeared. It was the old head of the Nulan Shan family. Old head? Pu Da bowed respectfully. The man on the screen was the 2nd-generation head of the Nulan Shan family, Yuting Nulan Shan. Yuting Nulan Shan nodded, his eyes scrutinizing Pu Da. You've arrived at that planet? Yes, old head. Pu Da replied and said, Bulyo's energy has disappeared. Chapter 561. As expected, he's dead. Hearing the tall man's report, the Imperial Court Nulan Shan shook his head and sighed. He seemed to have guessed the result, his face sunk. Kill everyone on this planet, that's enough to give Bulyo an answer. After that, head to the Black Dragon Mountain Empire and buy this planet. I'll listen to you. Hearing that, Pu Da bowed once again. Elder Pu Da, what are you planning to do now? Thousands of Nulan Shan guards awaited Pu Da's orders. Didn't you hear what the head said? Kill everyone on this planet. Pu Da turned and glanced at the Nulan Shan guards behind him, his voice cold. Listen to my orders, disperse and head out, kill all humans, leave none alive. Yes, Elder. With a uniform sound, countless beams of light shot out from the battleship, like a meteor shower shooting in different directions. As the Nulan Shan warriors on the distant battleship didn't try to hide themselves, all of their actions and even their conversations were captured by the Alliance's surveillance system and spread across the entire planet. There are so many warriors! Are they trying to kill us all? Lord Savior, can he handle it alone? Looking at the densely packed beams of light, the entire alliance fell into panic. "Where's the strongest warrior on this planet? Come out and accept your death!" At this time, Pu Da's voice resounded from the distant skies, bringing with it a terrifying ripple of energy, shaking the space. The two elders beside him, who were also universe-level warriors, didn't speak, however their expressions were cold. A powerful aura emanated from them, giving off a suffocating pressure. "Lord, we—" The alliance leader immediately looked at Chu Bei, his expression extremely nervous, his eyes filled with worry. From what he thought, Chu Bei was a universe-level warrior. He might be fine, however against the Nulanshan guards, he wasn't sure if anything would happen to the others. However, before the alliance leader could even finish his words, Chu Bei's silhouette had already vanished. At this time, a huge black hole appeared on all the screens. These black holes seemed to cover every corner of the planet. It seemed to have a terrifying swallowing power. The space around it was distorted. The next second after these black holes appeared, shrill screams rang out from every corner of the world. These cries were incomparably painful, as if they were suffering from inhumane torture, causing one to feel pity for them. "Look! Those who wanted to invade our homeland were all sucked in! Ha! This must be the Lord's doing! That's for the best! They actually wanted to kill all of us! This is their fate! My Lord is mighty!" In the images sent back by the satellite, the thousands of Nulan mountain guards that flew out from the battleship hadn't even landed when they were sucked in by the black hole. The moment they were sucked in by the black hole, the bodies of the Nulan mountain guards started to crack and distort, and what followed after was the agonizing screams. These mournful cries didn't last for long, and those Nulan mountain guards were quickly dragged in, disappearing without a trace. What's going on? What the hell happened? What is that black hole? Why does it possess such a terrifying devouring power? On the battleship, the three universe-level warriors of the Nulanshan family squinted their eyes, exchanging glances, revealing looks of shock. At the same time, their gazes were filled with caution, looking all around. They had lived for tens of thousands of years and had seen many things, but it was the first time they had seen such a strange scene. Close to 1,000 guards of their Nulanshan family, in that moment, they were all sucked in by the strange black hole that appeared out of nowhere, including 36-star level 9 pinnacle warriors. "Old family leader, did you see that?" Pu De took a deep breath, looking respectfully at the man on the screen before him. At this time, the Imperial Nulanshan on the screen went silent. He was the same as Pu De and the other two, his face filled with shock. "Kalo Empire's Nulanshan family, right? I happen to have some free time now, so I'll make a trip to your place." Just as Pu De was about to ask, a calm voice floated through the air. In the next moment, a young man in a purple robe appeared in front of him. It's you!" Pu De and the other two's gazes immediately focused on Chu Bei. They subconsciously distanced themselves from the other party as vigilance and fear rose on their faces. They didn't even know how the other party appeared before them. There wasn't even a ripple of energy. There wasn't any warning. Chu Bei glanced at Pu De and the other two in disdain. Ignoring them, his gaze landed on the Imperial Nulanshan on the screen, snorting coldly. "Your family's way of doing things, I don't like it. There's no need for it to exist." The moment Cold in the Forest's words landed, a sharp light shot out from Chu Bei's eyes, directly shattering the screen. Domain Lord! Sensing the pressure emanating from Chu Bei's body that caused them to be unable to move for a short moment, Pu De and the other two universe-level warriors' faces turned pale, once again looking at Chu Bei with only fear in their eyes. Even their first-generation leader Nulanshan, a level 9 universe-level warrior's full power wouldn't be able to suffocate them. However, the person before them was able to do it. That meant there was only one possibility. The person before them was even above the level 9 universe level, stepping into the Domain Lord level. How could such a small planet without a master have a Domain Lord? Pu De and the other two stared blankly at Chu Bei. They were already numb, unable to summon any will to resist. Their Kalo Empire's strongest was a Domain Lord. No matter what, They didn't dare imagine that the strongest on this planet without a master would also be a domain lord. If they knew this, not just them, even the entire Nulinshan family wouldn't dare have any ideas about this planet without a master. Domain lord, we didn't mean to barge in. Facing Chu Bei's cold gaze, Buddha seemed to have recalled their current situation and hurriedly spoke. However, before he could finish begging for mercy, a giant palm swept over him. Sensing the terrifying pressure within the huge palm, Buddha and the other two universe-level warriors' hearts sank. They tried to mobilize the energy within their bodies for a final struggle. However, they discovered that everything had been sealed. In the next moment, a black hole appeared within the huge palm. The hole was like a savage beast's mouth, bringing with it an irresistible swallowing force. Following 3 pitiful screams, the huge palm swept past and vanished into space. Along with it, Nulinshan's 3 universe-level warriors also vanished. Amidst the rumbling, the distant skies quietened down, leaving behind only 2 huge battleships. After which, Chu Bei waved his hand and the 2 battleships landed in the huge empty space before the Alliance building. Dead, they're all dead! 3 universe-level warriors, gone just like that! Didn't that punk Babata say that universe-level warriors already have a position within the Empire that cannot be underestimated? But why, in the hands of the leader, are they no different from ants? If that's the case, doesn't that mean our leader has already surpassed the universe level? Personally witnessing the process of Nulinshan's 3 universe-level warriors being destroyed with 1 palm, including Hong, Thunder God and the rest of the upper echelons, were all dumbfounded, their eyes filled with shock and astonishment. Babata, you've seen more than us, tell me, just how strong is my master? Luo Feng gulped, tilting his head to look at Babata beside him and couldn't help but ask. His mind was still replaying the scene of Chu Bei killing the 3 elders of the Nulinshan family. Those were 3 universe-level warriors. Towards Luo Feng's question, Babata shook his head. From the time we met until now, I feel that he hasn't revealed his true strength. Even when he killed the universe-level warriors, he didn't even use 1% of his strength. I can't judge. But by the time they came to their senses, before they could ask the first-generation patriarch to come out of seclusion, the hall shook violently with a boom. At the next moment, they felt an unparalleled and terrifying pressure filling up every corner of the hall and enveloping them. It seeped into their bodies from all directions and was everywhere. This pressure seemed to have come from above the 9 heavens, directly shaking the depths of their sea of consciousness, inexplicably causing their hearts to palpitate. He's here! Sensing this terrifying pressure, Yu Ting's expression turned extremely unsightly. Then, another enormous bang that shook the heavens resounded out. The entire hall seemed as if it was crushed by a mighty force that was difficult to resist, and it instantly shattered into pieces before transforming into a rain of light that dissipated. The hall disappeared and the group of elders saw the outside world. Only to see that in the sky above their heads, there was an indescribably huge figure. His size was even bigger than the entire Nulin Mountain Star Island. He just hovered in front of the Nulin Mountain Star Island, lowering his head, his huge eyes staring coldly at the Nulin Mountain Star Island. At the same time, all the humans of the Alliance on Earth were stunned. All of them raised their heads to look at the sky in a daze. As if lightning had struck, their eyes didn't even blink, completely numb. Only to see that in the distant sky, an image appeared. In the image was the scene of a giant hovering in front of the Nulin Mountain Star Island. That giant, isn't he the Overlord? How can this be? The Overlord is clearly in the Alliance building, right? Why would there be a person that looks exactly the same? And his size is countless times bigger. That island should be where the Nulin Mountain family is. Which means it's already in the vast starry sky outside of our Earth. The Overlord's methods are too terrifying. When the humans of the Alliance saw the giant's appearance clearly, they all sucked in a cold breath. After a while, their faces were all filled with excitement. They were all cheering for the strength of their Overlord. Overlord, that is... On the top floor of the Alliance building, Hong and Thunder God exchanged glances. before looking at Chu Bei at the same time, gulping. At this time, it wasn't just the two of them. Luo Feng, Babata, the alliance leader, and the upper echelon's gazes all landed on Chu Bei. The other party was clearly right beside them. How could he appear in front of the Nulin Mountain Star Island? And his size was so huge and terrifying. That's only one of your master's energy clones. Chu Bei looked at Luo Feng and said, answering everyone's questions. My lord, my previous master also had a second and third doppelganger, but even he couldn't cross the Milky Way Empire and arrive at the Callow Empire in an instant like you did. Babata took a deep breath, his mouth wide open. As long as one's power is strong enough, with a thought, one can appear in any corner of the universe. Chu Bei's lips curled into a smile, extremely calm. Is there really such a powerful person? Hearing Chu Bei's words, Babata muttered to himself. This vast universe was so huge. If such a person really existed, then just how terrifying would he be? At least, his previous master was far from being able to do that. At the same time, on the Nulin Mountain Star Island, Yuting, the group of elders and the countless Nulin Mountain guards within the mountain all looked in fear at the huge silhouette before them. And in the space between the Star Islands, one after another universe-level warriors popped their heads out. My God! Just who did the Nulin Shan family offend? This pressure is definitely a domain lord. Doesn't our Callow Empire only have one domain lord, the Emperor? Then who is he? If I'm not wrong, he should be from another empire. Then this Nulin Shan family really doesn't have eyes. They actually offended a domain lord. A group of universe-level warriors popped their heads out and discussed. What happened? Suddenly, a low voice resounded from the depths of the Nulin Mountain Star Island, following which a powerful energy swept over. This voice, it's the first family leader. He's come out. Hearing the familiar voice that they hadn't heard in a long time, the group of elders' fearful expressions eased, their eyes filled with anticipation. Very quickly, a white-robed man flew over from the depths of the island. He glanced at the huge Chu Bei's energy clone, his eyebrows creasing. This white-robed man was Nulin Shan, the first family leader of the Nulin Shan family, a universe level 9 warrior. Greetings, old ancestor. The second family leader Yuting immediately bowed towards Nulin Shan. Speak, what's going on? The white-robed man extended his hand and pointed at Chu Bei's energy clone, at the same time looking at Yuting, questioning him. For the sake of a planet, you actually dared to threaten to kill all life forms. Such behavior, we can't let you live. Without waiting for Yuting to answer Nulin Shan's question, Chu Bei's emotionless cold voice resounded throughout the vast space. The moment his words landed, the energy clone that was even larger than the entire island moved. He opened his huge mouth and sucked in fiercely. In an instant, his huge mouth seemed to have transformed into a bottomless black abyss, able to swallow everything in the universe. Following screams, the blur of Nulin Shan guards on the island were all sucked into the huge mouth, including the star-level elders. Damn it! Yuting, during the time I was in seclusion, just who did you offend? Under the devouring of Chu Bei's energy clone, the entire Nulin Shan Star Island started to distort. The first family leader Nulin Shan roared furiously at Yuting. However, no matter how he used his abilities, he was unable to escape from this terrifying devouring force. Chi. In just a few seconds, the huge Star Island and the entire Nulin Shan family, including Nulin Shan, all disappeared from the space. No more! My God! In the blink of an eye, the Nulin Shan family, the third great family of the Callow Empire, was annihilated just like that. Just where did that domain lord come from? In the distance, a group of universe-level warriors poked their heads out. After personally witnessing this scene, they were all stunned, all of them in a daze. Only thick shock remained in their eyes. Not good, he discovered us. Suddenly, Chu Bei's energy clone moved. He turned his head, his eyes shooting out two resplendent beams of light, crimson red like blood, gushing out, almost like large amounts of red flames, shocking everyone. Almost at the same time, the group of universe-level warriors watching all shook. Under that terrifying gaze, it was almost as though there was a consciousness controlling their bodies, wanting to destroy their souls. Luckily, just as their souls were about to crumble, the energy retreated, returning their bodies to them. He didn't do anything to us. Is this the Domain Lord's pressure? So powerful! Following the departure of Chu Bei's energy clone, the group of warriors could finally relax. Looking at the cold sweat on their foreheads, it was almost as though they had just been on the brink of death. Chapter 563. Within the space of the Black Dragon Mountain star field. The spectating universe-level warriors hadn't even recovered from their shock when a gold-robed silhouette appeared in their vision. This silhouette floated where the Nulan Mountain Star Island was previously. He was obviously standing there, yet he gave off an unfathomable feeling. Greetings, Emperor! Seeing the appearance of the gold-robed silhouette, the group of universe-level warriors were all stunned. After reacting, they immediately flew up and bowed, their faces filled with respect. This gold-robed man was the Emperor of the Callow Empire, and also the #1 warrior, the only Domain Lord level being. Your Majesty, did you see the scene with Nulan Shan just now? A universe-level warrior tried to ask. I saw it. Callow Emperor's gaze swept past the group of universe-level warriors, nodding slightly. Then are you just going to watch him destroy the Nulan Shan family? After all, the Nulan Shan family is still within your jurisdiction. A universe-level frowned, his expression ugly. I can't stop him. Callow Emperor shook his head, his face filled with helplessness. He's already surpassed the Domain Lord level. What? Above the Domain Lord level? How is this possible? Don't tell me, he's a Sector Lord. Looking at the entire Black Dragon Mountain star field, how many Sector Lords are there? But speaking of Sector Lords, I've seen the few from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Why don't I have any impression of him at all? Hearing Callow Emperor's words, the group of universe-level warriors all had a change of expression, their faces filled with shock. But when they thought about the pressure that Qinshi released before leaving, and how a mere gaze suppressed them to the point they were unable to arouse the slightest intention to resist, they felt slightly relieved in their hearts. When did I ever say he's a Sector Lord? A Sector Lord's energy isn't as terrifying as his. Callow Emperor's gaze focused, saying, If I'm not wrong, he doesn't belong to the Black Dragon Mountain star field. Emperor, what you mean is, his power level is above a Sector Lord. Hearing Callow Emperor's words again, the group of universe-level warriors were completely stunned, glancing at each other. Above a Sector Lord, what kind of being was that? That was an undying being of legends. If these words didn't come from Callow Emperor's mouth, they definitely wouldn't believe that the person who appeared before could be an undying being. Do any of you know, how did the Nulan Shan family offend that mysterious being? Callow Emperor asked. To Callow Emperor's question, the group of universe-level warriors shook their heads, expressing that they didn't know. This matter is over, let's disperse. I have a feeling that it won't be long before this mysterious expert enters our sights again. As soon as he finished speaking, the Callow Emperor's figure disappeared. The great beings of the universe looked at each other, and then disappeared into the starry sky. In the air above the Alliance building, Lord Callow, S's Alliance leaders T Alliance leader Emperor Emperors, S leader, SSS Emperor. Emperor SS Emperors TSS. Finally, there's nothing left to worry about, everything can return to normal. Not only the Alliance leader, even Hong, Thunder God and the upper echelon of the Alliance all let out a sigh of relief, as though the stone in their hearts had been lifted. Lord Callow Emperor is mighty. The humans of the Alliance all reacted, shouting out in shock, their shouts filled with excitement. Lord Callow Emperor, what do you plan to do next? The Alliance leader looked respectfully at Chu Bei. Naturally, it's to tell the people outside that this planet has an owner. Chu Bei's gaze first swept past the Alliance leader, after which he patted Luo Feng's shoulder. Let's go, I'll bring you to see the vast world. As he spoke, Before Luo Feng could even react, he had already been brought away by Chu Bei, along with the AI life form Babata. Black Dragon Mountain Empire, Jade Rock Star. Even though this was a rather desolate planet, it was where the Empire's government was located. Anyone within the Black Dragon Mountain Empire who wanted to purchase the rights to this planet had to come here. These are the coordinates of this planet. Regarding its samples, data, etc., they've all been placed here. Chu Bei sat in his chair, not too high profile, following the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's procedures. If the interstellar coordinates and records are confirmed to have no problems, you'll receive a reward of 100 billion Black Dragon dollars. One of the officials said. According to the rules, discovering a planet without an owner gives one the priority to purchase it. I want to buy it. Chu Bei looked at the official, smiling. What? You want to buy this life planet? The group of officials who were originally discussing, after hearing Chu Bei's words, their faces were immediately filled with shock. This wasn't buying weapons or treasures. A planet with life and civilization was extremely expensive. That's right. Chu Bei nodded in response. The owner of the Myriad Heavens shop, right? The Empire official looked at Chu Bei. As the first person to discover this planet without an owner, you naturally have the right to purchase it. However, I have to remind you, just now when we sent the data of this planet to the Empire headquarters, the reply they gave us was that they will give you the highest reward of 100 billion Black Dragon dollars. So? Chu Bei smiled knowingly, waiting for the Imperial official's next words. You should know, the Empire will give you a reward of at least 10 billion Black Dragon dollars, and at most 100 billion Black Dragon dollars. Your planet's reward is the highest, hence the price you'll need to purchase it will naturally be the highest. Speaking up to this point, the Empire official was both expectant and nervous. If you really want to buy this planet without an owner, you'll need to spend 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars. My God! Just what kind of planet did he discover? He actually needs 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars to buy it. If we were to buy it, wouldn't it cost at least 10 trillion Black Dragon dollars? That's why, this planet thing isn't something normal people can afford. No matter what, it has to be at least a universe level 8 or above warrior. He doesn't look familiar. He doesn't look like a famous person from the Empire. However, even if he can't afford it, there's still a reward of 100 billion Black Dragon dollars. He's much richer than us. The surrounding people heard the official's price, discussing and exclaiming. I wonder if you can take out this money? The official looked at Chu Bei with some anticipation. If the other party could really take out this amount of money, then his official path could be directly used to soar. Of course, he didn't have much hope. After all, to be able to take out 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars, they were all famous people within the Empire. Money, I don't have it. Chu Bei shrugged his shoulders at the official. Just as he was frowning, he flipped his right hand. A 9-colored light appeared in his palm, smiling. I wonder if this little toy is worth 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars? As Chu Bei's voice landed, the official and the surrounding people all turned their gazes towards the 9-colored light in Chu Bei's palm, seriously sizing it up. This is a piece of bone from the whirling beast. Look at this bone pattern. It's an adult whirling beast. It's said that an adult whirling beast has the strength of an official level undying. Looking closely, within the 9-colored light in Chu Bei's palm, there was a small piece of bone. It was releasing a resplendent 9-colored light. The surrounding people quickly recognized the origin of this small piece of bone, their faces filled with astonishment. They couldn't help but exclaim out loud. Whirling beast, an existence that was on par with the space beasts in the vast starry sky. On the way here, a whirling beast attacked Chu Bei in the starry sky. Chu Bei casually killed it and took its bone and core. It's really the whirling beast's bone, and it's the purest one. Within the palace, some of the strong warriors who knew about the secrets of the whirling beast, after confirming it once again, a strange look flashed across their eyes. They turned and left one after another. You still haven't answered my question. Is it worth 3 trillion? Chu Bei played with the whirling bone in his hand, smiling as he looked at the official. Hearing Chu Bei's words, the official recovered from his shock and hurriedly said, "The owner of the All Heavens shop, right? I have to report this to my superiors. I wonder if you can give me the whirling bone first?" "Of course, no problem." Chu Bei smiled, nonchalantly tossing the whirling bone to him. He naturally wasn't worried that the other party would play tricks. If that was the case, he would just wipe out the Black Dragon Mountain Empire with one slap. "Thank you for your understanding. I'll be right back." The official carefully received the whirling bone, once again looking at Chu Bei with eyes filled with respect. The other party was truly his benefactor. Chapter 564. Black Dragon Mountain, the sacred land of the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield. It was also the backing of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's royal family. The formation of the Black Dragon Mountain was due to the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's founding emperor connecting the space of the universe with his internal world. "It's indeed a sacred land." Bullyo was flying in space. He was the official that received Chu Bei. Looking out, there was a resplendent star above the mountain. That was a star that an undying brought from the vast universe. Covering the sky with one hand, plucking down the stars, that was an undying. "If one day I can become an undying." Bullyo looked up at the star in the sky. Before he could finish his thoughts, he couldn't help but shake his head and laugh bitterly. Undying, to him, was too far away. Looking at the entire Black Dragon Mountain star field, there were about 100 sector lords. However, according to the probability of a sector lord breaking through to undying, 100 sector lords would all die of old age one day. A sector lord's lifespan was limited. Only an undying was an eternal existence. After flying for a while, Bullyo stopped in the air above the most majestic mountain range. This was a huge black mountain range over 100,000 kilometers tall. It was completely black, almost like a huge black dragon with wings. It was the main peak of the Black Dragon Mountain. Bullyo let out a long breath. Even though he had been to this main peak many times, he still felt shocked. "Bullyo, what's the matter? Have you met another mysterious ownerless planet that's hard to determine?" Bullyo appeared in the air above the mountain. A powerful voice filled with authority resounded from the depths of the main peak. "Lord Lei Fu, I came here to ask you to evaluate whether this bone is worth 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars." Even though Bullyo had an answer in his heart, he still didn't dare make a decision on his own. After he said that, Bullyo's body flashed, flying towards a luxurious palace on the peak. At the edge of the cliff in front of the palace stood a bald old man with an aquiline nose. The temperature around him seemed to have dropped slightly. He was the top 3 sector lords of the Black Dragon Mountain star field, Hargrey. "What bone is worth 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars?" Hearing Bullyo's words, Hargrey creased his eyebrows. "Lord, you'll know when you see it." Bullyo flew in front of Hargrey, first bowing respectfully, then carefully handed over the 9-colored ball of light in his hand. This is the bone of an adult dancing beast." Hargrey took the 9-colored ball of light and exclaimed 2 seconds after it entered his hand. A hint of surprise flashed through his eyes. Judging from the texture and energy fluctuations of the whirling beast bone, if it was refined well, it would be a perfect immortal-grade weapon. Soon, Hargrey seemed to have thought of something. His 2 hands suddenly grabbed Bulyo's arms tightly. His expression was abnormally agitated, and his words were filled with excitement and urgency. "Tell me quickly, where did you get this whirling beast bone? Where was the body of the dancing beast? Where's the beast's core?" "Beast's core?" Looking at the suddenly excited Hargrave, Bulyo shook his head and said, "This was sent by a person of unknown origin. He found an unknown planet and had no money, so he used this whirling beast bone to pay 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars." After saying that, a curious look appeared in Brow's eyes. "Sir, what's wrong? Is there a problem with the whirling bone? Are there many people who know about this whirling bone?" Hargrave immediately asked. Bulyo nodded. "No less than 100 people. Damn it, I'm afraid they all know, and they're already on their way." After getting the answer, Hargrave let out a long sigh. "Sir, what's wrong with you? Is there something special about this whirling bone? Bulow became more and more confused. You don't know, the most precious part of the whirling beast isn't its bone, but its beast core. The beast core of an adult whirling beast can directly allow a sector lord to step into the undying realm. Hargrave took a deep breath, his eyes burning with passion. But an adult whirling beast has the power of an official level undying. How can we sector lords get its beast core? Now that the whirling bone has appeared, it is a great opportunity that is hard to come by in 10,000 years. Sir, you mean that mysterious person, other than the whirling beast bone, also has a whirling beast core? Bulow reacted. But he has the whirling beast bone, so his power must be terrifying. Do you think this adult whirling beast was killed by him? Hargrave let out a cold laugh. An adult whirling beast has the power of an official level undying. In the entire Black Dragon Mountain star field, only a God Master can kill him. If he has the power of a God Master, do you think he can't take out a mere 3 trillion Black Dragon dollars? Hearing Hargrave's words, Bulow's eyes turned. After thinking for a while, he nodded in agreement. What he said made sense. Then why does he have the whirling beast bone? Bulow asked again. In the vast space, there are often terrifying undercurrents. Every 10,000 years, there will occasionally be powerful beings that are killed by the undercurrents. According to records 30,000 years ago, there was a space beast that was killed by the undercurrents. Finally, its corpse was split up by the various powers. From what I see, this whirling beast is the same. And that unknown person you speak of must have coincidentally found the whirling beast's corpse. So, sir, you think the beast's core is still on him? Bulow continued to ask. We'll know soon enough. If we're late, I'm afraid I won't have a share. After saying that, Hargrave didn't bother with Bulow anymore. He became a god rainbow and left. Jade Rock Star. In the main hall of the official residence, Chu Bei was leisurely sitting on a chair, tasting the tea that was specially provided. As the news of the whirling beast's bones spread, more and more people began to gather around Chu Bei. They wanted to see what this mysterious person who found an ownerless planet and had the whirling beast bone looked like. Xiao! Amidst the rumbling, multiple god rainbows flew over. Look, someone's here! At this moment, someone in the hall shouted loudly. Following that, everyone turned to look towards the east in unison. This group of people were all wearing the same robes. Behind them, there was a sword design that was especially obvious. They're from the Divine Sword Planet. Some of the more observant people in the crowd exclaimed. The leader is the Divine Sword Sector Lord. Why would such a being appear here? Could it be that he's taken a fancy to another ownerless planet and is prepared to buy it? Some warriors recognized the leader of the eastern group. Their pupils shrunk, their expressions shocked. Xiao! Before the crowd's exclamations faded, several more rainbows arrived from the west. This group of people were all wearing fiery red Taoist robes. On the chest of their robes, there was a blazing flame design. Those are people from the Fire Cloud Planet. Oh my God! The leader is the Fire Cloud Sector Lord. Why did he come to this small jade rock planet like the Divine Sword Sector Lord? After the warriors in the hall recognized the fiery red Taoist robes, especially the red-haired old man who led the group, their expressions changed again. Rumble! But after a few seconds there was a rumbling sound in the distance. Then, several more rainbows streaked across the sky. These rainbows came on 7-colored ribbons. It was very beautiful. People from the Luoshui planet! As expected, there's not a single man. Rumor has it that people from the Luoshui planet almost never go out. Why are they here? Isn't the leader the Luoshui Sector Lord? The members of the third team were all women, and the leader was a beautiful woman in a white dress. I didn't expect you two to be faster than me. You're really well informed. The beautiful woman came and looked at the Divine Sword Sector Lord and the Fire Cloud Sector Lord. She smiled sweetly. I knew it. I'm not the only one who knows about this good news. Divine Sword Sector Lord shook his head. I didn't expect them to come too. This time, It's hard to say who will belong to them. The Fire Cloud Sector Lord looked around and sighed. His words carried a smile and a hint of helplessness. Just as the Fire Cloud Sector Lord finished speaking, another 10 teams flew over from a distant planet. The leaders all had powerful auras. Every move they made released a terrifying might. These leaders all knew each other. When they saw each other, they greeted each other and exchanged pleasantries. "Oh my God! Is there something wrong with my eyes?" South Flow Sector Lord, Black Wind Sector Lord, Bailey Sector Lord, Sima Sector Lord, Shangguan Sector Lord, Sikong Sector Lord. Why are there so many Sector Lords? Could it be that a very good ownerless planet has appeared? It can actually alarm so many Sector Lords. Looking at our entire Black Dragon Mountain star field, there are no more than 100 Sector Lords. Any one of these Sector Lords is the lord of a planet, or even multiple planets. Today, at least half of them are gathered here. The group of people in the hall had already come outside. Not only them, more and more experts heard the news and gathered from afar. When these experts saw dozens of rarely seen Sector Lords gathered together, they all sucked in a breath of cold air. They looked at each other and asked questions. Their faces were at a loss, as if they were struck by lightning. Even the experts who personally witnessed the arrival of the Sector Lords were dumbfounded. Their brains seemed to have lost the ability to think. They stood there like wooden blocks, staring blankly at the various Sector Lords. Because they did not know the whole story, the scene in front of them was too sudden and unexpected. They were caught off guard. Chapter 565. As expected, you old fellows all came. The allure of the undying is truly too great. Just at this time, a voice filled with helplessness and laughter sounded from the distance, reverberating through the entire Jade Rock star. The powerful voice was still reverberating when a bald eagle-nosed old man appeared in everyone's line of sight. The one following behind him was the official Bullywell. That's the Sacred Lands Lord Hargray. The top 3 Sector Lords in the entire Black Dragon Mountain star field. He actually came as well. That's not right, he's in charge of the ownerless planets. If there's a planet he fancies, wouldn't it be fine if he directly took it? Why would he personally come? Also, what is the allure of the undying that he spoke of? I'm afraid his goal is the same as the other Sector Lords. Only I don't know what their goal is. Countless experts' gazes immediately gathered on Hargray's body, all sorts of discussions interweaving. Hargray, even though you're a bit stronger than us, we won't give you any face on this matter. A Sector Lord laughed. Of course I know I don't have that much face, this opportunity will depend on one's own ability. Hargray stroked his beard. After replying to that Sector Lord with a smile, his eyes narrowed, landing on Chu Bei's body. You're the one who wants to use the whirling beast bone for 3 trillion black dragon dollars to buy an ownerless planet? I announce, the deal is set. Lord of all heaven shop, Lord Hargray has already announced. From now on, the planet you discovered is yours. Just as Hargray's voice fell, Bullywell flew in front of Chu Bei, cupping his fists and congratulating. Chu Bei expressionlessly glanced at Hargray, slightly nodding. When these Realm Lords arrived, he already knew where Realm Lords were in Perfect World's cultivation system, roughly equivalent to the self-release realm. Friend, since you have the Whirling Beast bone, you should also have the Whirling Beast core, right? Hargray played with the Whirling Beast bone in his hands, his gaze narrowed, landing on Chu Bei. Hearing Hargray's words, the expressions of the other Sector Lords in the hall all changed, their gazes landing on Chu Bei, their eyes filled with hope, their faces filled with anticipation. I've already used it. Meeting Hargray's gaze, Chu Bei smiled. He now knew why so many Sector Lords gathered here. So, it was all because of him. Used? Hargray frowned and his face darkened. He stared at Chu Bei and said, The Whirling Beast pill is not an ordinary item. You can't use it, right? That's if it is. Even if he just stepped into the pinnacle of the universe level, he would die immediately if he swallowed the Whirling Beast pill. Speak, where is it, where is the core, hand over the beast's core, and I can bestow upon you a great opportunity and accept you as my disciple. The group of sector lords spoke out one after another, not believing Chu Bei's words. Now I know, these sector lords are all here for him. To be more precise, they are here for the whirling beast pill on him. But speaking of which, what use does the whirling beast core have? It can actually attract so many sector lords. I didn't think of it before, but now I understand a bit. Seems like my clan's records are true. As long as sector lords eat the whirling beast core, they can directly enter the undying realm. What? It actually has such a miraculous effect. Undying, this is a huge temptation. Doesn't this mean that the whirling beast core in his hands can't be hidden? After all, to sector lords, this is an opportunity to become undying. That's right, if it was me, I would do anything to get the whirling beast core. Within the shrine, the group of sector lords seemed to have understood too, their gazes all landing on Chu Bei. Some were watching a show, some with pity. Their thoughts were the same as the sector lords. The opponent was just a lucky bastard who met the whirling beast's corpse. However, because he got something he shouldn't have, he was destined to be in big trouble. I'll repeat myself, there's no more beast core. Against the questioning gazes of the sector lords, Chu Bei's expression didn't change at all. However, his voice became lower, with a hint of cold in the forest. In truth, after killing the whirling beast, he immediately absorbed the energy within the core and poured it into Luo Feng's body. Under the nourishment of the whirling beast core, Luo Feng had already stepped into the star level, and wasn't far from the universe level. How dare you? Do you know who we are? You dare speak like that? Hearing Chu Bei's words, the Fire Cloud Sector Lord immediately roared. His roar was like rolling thunder, the terrifying sound waves shook the space. Since you don't know what's good for you, then I'll personally search your soul. The Fire Cloud Sector Lord spoke and took a step forward. As the Fire Cloud Sector Lord's cold voice landed, his eyes spewed out purple flames towards Chu Bei. Wherever the flames passed, everything was distorted. The moment the purple flames covered the sky, the group of warriors in front of the shrine all felt their hearts tremble. They instinctively retreated, their faces filled with fear. As expected of the Fire Cloud Sector Lord. Just a thread of purple flames in his eyes can suppress the godly energy within my body. How terrifying! Some star-level warriors were terrified. Could it be that this is how your Black Dragon Mountain Empire treats your guests? Seeing the Fire Cloud Sector Lord make his move, Chu Bei's face that didn't have a smile to begin with immediately darkened. When he came to this world, even buying a planet was done according to the rules. But the Fire Cloud Sector Lord was treating him like a soft persimmon due to greed. Accompanied by a cold snort, a ripple that was difficult to capture shot out from Chu Bei's eyes. In an instant, it dispersed the purple flames that were surging over. Seeing the flames disappear, the Fire Cloud Sector Lord's body suddenly shook, and a chill surged in his heart. However, before he could do anything, he suddenly found an invisible force that he couldn't resist enveloping him. Instantly, his body couldn't move, and his godly energy felt as though it was being restrained. He couldn't use it. What made him even more terrified was that the godly energy within his body was expanding at a terrifying speed. Rumble! Another earth-shattering sound rang out. Before the Fire Cloud Realm Lord could even let out a scream, his body suddenly exploded. In that instant, one could even see his soul being twisted and torn in his flesh. However, all of this happened in the blink of an eye. When the other Sector Lords reacted, the area where the Fire Cloud Sector Lord was at was already empty, and there was nothing left. What happened? Where's the Fire Cloud Sector Lord? Don't tell me what I just saw was real. Dead? Is the Fire Cloud Sector Lord dead? Impossible! He's a Sector Lord, one of the top 100 absolute warriors in the Black Dragon Mountain star field. With the explosion still lingering in their ears, the cultivators in the palace were stunned. Looking at where the Fire Cloud Sector Lord was at, they looked at each other, their eyes filled with disbelief. They couldn't believe that the scene they had just seen was real. The famous Fire Cloud Realm Lord had exploded with a bang just like that. Not only the star-level and universe-level spectators, even the sector lords including Hargrey were all stunned, as though they had lost their souls. Chapter 566. What happened to Wu Yun just now? It's him, it must be him. At this moment, the sector lords reacted and exclaimed. All of them stretched out their hands and pointed at Chu Bei from afar, their voices filled with terror. From start to finish, the only person who could possibly attack Wu Yun was this mysterious person who looked no different from an ordinary person. This lord has no intention of killing, but your words and actions have truly angered this lord. Chu Bei's cold gaze swept across the group of sector lords including Hargrey. Cold in the forest's voice rang out again, entering the depths of everyone's mind. If it was anyone else, the Fire Cloud Sector Lord would have already invaded their consciousness and searched their soul. If it was light, they would lose their memories. If it was heavy, they would become a living dead. Pung pung pung. Following Chu Bei's indifferent words, another wave of ripples swept across the bodies of the Sector Lords like a cool breeze. Unlike the Fire Cloud Sector Lord who didn't even have time to scream, when this breeze swept across the group of Sector Lords, their expressions instantly twisted as though they had suffered unbearable inhuman torture. Following that, waves of mournful cries burst out from their mouths. In the next moment, their bodies seemed to have suffered a powerful blow as they flew out like cannonballs. They tore through the void and brought along dense spatial cracks. Witnessing the scene of the Sector Lords, including Hargrey, flying out, the faces of the onlookers in the hall instantly turned gray. The onlookers felt as though they had been struck by a bolt from the blue, but also as though a bucket of cold water had been poured over them from head to toe. Their entire bodies were numb. Everything happened too suddenly and unexpectedly, catching them off guard. Am I hallucinating? Heavens, that's a group of Sector Lords! Some experts sucked in a breath of cold air and cried out in alarm, as if they were struck by lightning. Owner of All Heaven's shop, was it you who attacked just now? Buluo's throat squirmed as he was dumbfounded. His brain had already lost the ability to think. He stood there like a piece of wood without moving. His two eyes stared blankly at Chu Bei as he moved the corners of his lips and asked tentatively. Chu Bei glanced indifferently at Buluo and said nothing. On the other hand, Buluo's body suddenly began to tremble when he met Chu Bei's gaze. Cold sweat uncontrollably flowed out from his forehead with a swoosh sound. His entire being seemed to have sunk into fear. Just a second ago, he only felt a force that made him unable to resist shrouding his body. This feeling was like a sharp blade on his neck. If he dared to even think about it, his head would be separated from his body. It was too terrifying. Where did that person come from? That scene earlier must have something to do with him. Lord Hargrey is one of the top 3 super-existences. Even he was sent flying by the invisible force. It seems that his injuries are not light either. Furthermore, from the looks of it, he didn't even expend any effort. The feeling he gives me is that this group of Sector Lords are like ants in front of him. My God, if I didn't see it with my own eyes, I really wouldn't believe it. I'm afraid that even if His Majesty were here, he wouldn't be able to do something like this. The crowd gradually recovered from their shock. When they looked at Chu Bei again, their gazes were filled with fear and respect. There was no lack of suspicions in the clamor. In the distance, the Sector Lords who were sent flying also stabilized themselves. All of them had blood at the corner of their mouths. Their auras were extremely weak. They looked at each other. Their gazes were filled with shock. After exchanging glances, they gathered together and flew back to the top of the palace. However, it was different from before. The arrogance that belonged to Sector Lords had disappeared. What replaced it was vigilance and seriousness. Their gazes were fixed on Chu Bei. Their entire bodies were as tense as a rock, and their hearts were as heavy as lead. If you dare to ask me about the beast cores again, you will end up like the people from before. Chu Bei's cold gaze swept across the group of sector lords. Although his voice wasn't loud, it sounded in the hearts of Hargray and the rest. It was like thunder from the 9 heavens. Hearing Chu Bei's words, Hargray and the rest of the sector lords looked at each other. No one dared to open their mouths. From his words, the one who heavily injured them was this mysterious person of unknown origin. He was also the one who killed the Fire Cloud sector lord. This time, they had all misjudged him. That irresistible strength, even from the Black Dragon Mountain country leader, they had never felt it before. Which meant, the opponent's strength was even above their country leaders. Their country leader's strength was that of an official level Undying. The opponent's strength could very well be that of an Emperor level Undying. Hence, the matter of the whirling beast's bones was concluded. The opponent wasn't lucky enough to pick up the body of the whirling beast. Instead, he had truly killed an adult whirling beast. Thinking up to this point, Hargray and the rest of the sector lords were filled with fear and joy. They had angered an Emperor level Undying and still managed to survive. An Emperor level Undying, even in the Ganwu universe country, that was a pinnacle existence. The Milky Way Empire was a low-level civilization country, with millions of planets similar to Earth. The Black Dragon Mountain Empire was a middle-level civilization country, with tens of thousands of subordinate countries like the Milky Way Empire. And the Ganwu Universe country was a high-level civilization country, with over 13,000 star fields. Just like the Black Dragon Mountain star field, it was one of them. Looking at the entire Ganwu Universe country, there were over 1 million sector lords. This great universe country leader was even the legendary Universe Knight. Even though there were tens of thousands of Undyings in the Ganwu Universe country, Emperor-level Undyings were few and far between. For my friend to be able to buy a planet in my Black Dragon Mountain star field, it is the Empire's greatest fortune. You should have been treated well, but instead, you were neglected by my stupid underlings. I hope you don't blame them. Just as the group of sector lords were still immersed in Chu Bei's strength, a faintly discernible yet majestic voice resounding in everyone's ears. After which, a silhouette appeared out of thin air. This was a middle-aged man, dressed in a golden long robe, with a golden crown on his head, releasing an unparalleled aura, as though he had been in a high position for a long time. Country leader! You've come out! Seeing the middle-aged man's appearance, including Hargray, the group of sector lords were all stunned, after which their faces were filled with respect, immediately bowing. My God! It's really the country leader! To be able to personally see the country leader again, it's the greatest fortune of my life. Before the country leader went into seclusion, he was already an official level Undying. Now that he's come out after 10,000 years, he should have already stepped into the Emperor level. If that's really the case, then our Black Dragon Mountain Empire's position in the Ganwu Universe country's subordinate countries will rise again. Within the palace, the group of people quickly reacted, all kneeling on the ground and kowtowing towards the middle-aged man, their gazes filled with respect. Often, when a country falls, it's not because of the country leader, but because of a group of underlings who don't know their place. Chu Bei glanced indifferently at the Black Dragon Mountain country leader. This time, I'll let it go. If there's a next time, your Black Dragon Mountain Empire doesn't need to exist anymore. Arrogant! You actually... Sikong, shut up! Hearing Chu Bei's undisguised threat, Sikong immediately spoke out. However, the moment he opened his mouth, he was stopped by the Black Dragon Mountain country leader. My friend's words, I'll remember them. In the future, I'll definitely set rules to restrict them. After scolding Sikong, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader very politely cupped his fists towards Chu Bei. That's good. Chu Bei replied softly, nodding his head slightly. My friend, I think you've already stepped into the night level. Following the Black Dragon Mountain monarch's words, the group of sector lords behind him all went silent. What? Night level? How is that possible? Including Hargray and the group of sector lords, after hearing the Black Dragon Mountain country leader's words, Their expressions all changed, their eyes opened wide as they stared at Chu Bei, their eyes filled with disbelief. Universe Night, what kind of concept was that? The leader of the Ganwu universe country was at that level. That was a high-level universe country. A supreme being. If these were just rumors, they would definitely scoff at it. However, these words came from their country leader's mouth. The truth was rather high. Universe Night? Within the palace, the group of star-level spectators exchanged glances, their eyes filled with confusion. Obviously, at their level, they didn't have any concept of what a Universe Night was. Babata raised his head and stared blankly at Chu Bei, not moving at all, just like a wooden man. The first time he saw Chu Bei, he knew he wasn't simple, especially after he attacked so many times. He was even more certain that he was as strong as his previous master. However, no matter what, he would never have thought that he was actually a Universe Knight. His previous master's strength was comparable to the Black Dragon Mountain country leader. However, in the eyes of a knight like the Ganwu Universe country leader, he was no different from an ant. As for Liu of Foam, he felt everyone's gazes towards Chu Bei, filled with respect and admiration. He felt an inexplicable sense of comfort. After all, he was Chu Bei's disciple. Universe Knight? Maybe. Towards the Black Dragon Mountain country leader's words, Chu Bei only smiled. According to the training system of the Swallowing Star Space and the Perfect World, the Sector Lord level was equivalent to the Self-Release Realm, and the Black Dragon Mountain country leader, who was an official level Undying, was equivalent to a level 6 Supreme. As for the so-called Universe Knight, it was equivalent to a complete Supreme. Currently, without relying on Xiao Hei's strength and the All-Heaven Merchant City, his own strength was at level 17 Pinnacle, similarly equivalent to a complete Supreme, only one step away from becoming a true immortal. My friend, do you need us to do anything for the ownerless planet you bought? From Chu Bei's words, after confirming his guess, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader's attitude towards Chu Bei was obviously more respectful. Chapter 567. I'll do it myself. Chu Bei looked at the Black Dragon Mountain country king. The moment he said those words, the entire Black Dragon Mountain star field suddenly trembled, as though it was suddenly engulfed by a mysterious and terrifying force. In the next moment, in every corner of the Black Dragon Mountain star field, an image was projected in the sky. Callow Empire. Your Majesty, quickly look at the sky. Isn't he the lord that annihilated the Nulan Shan family? Eh? Who is that person with the golden crown beside him? Looking at his clothes, he should be the king of a country. In the starry sky, the gazes of the strong warriors immediately focused on the projection. When they recognized Chu Bei, their faces couldn't help but reveal looks of shock. Other than that, they were also puzzled by the people around Chu Bei. That is the Black Dragon Mountain country king. The Callow Empire king took a deep breath, his mouth slowly spitting out words, his words filled with shock. What? That person is the Black Dragon Mountain country king? Why would the king be together with that mysterious person? And looking at the king, he seems to be very courteous to that person. My God, what is the background of that lord? Hearing the Callow Empire king's words, the strong warriors once again looked towards Chu Bei. They were all stunned. Earth-Human Alliance. Quickly look, isn't that the leader? Where is the leader now? Who are those people beside him? He seems to have something to say to us. Including the Alliance leader, Hong, Thunder God, and everyone else, they all stopped what they were doing, their gazes focused on Chu Bei's body in the projection. Just at this moment, all the strong warriors in the Black Dragon Mountain star field seemed to have reached an agreement, all of them raising their heads to look towards the sky. I am the Earth's leader. Its coordinates are one of the 8 planets of the Milky Way Empire's solar system. From now on, if anyone dares to have any ideas about it, I will destroy them. With an explosion, Chu Bei's voice rang out from all the projections, echoing in every corner of the Black Dragon Mountain star field. Chu Bei's voice wasn't loud, but it was enough to intimidate people's souls, causing them to feel an inexplicable sense of fear. This emperor is the master of the Black Dragon Mountain star field. Those who have designs on Earth will also be punished by the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Not long after Chu Bei had spoken, the Black Dragon Mountain King's voice sounded out. Whoosh! In an instant, the entire Black Dragon Mountain star field fell into silence. After the deathly silence, what followed was clamor. I didn't expect the Earth Lord to be so capable. I've never heard His Majesty mention protecting a planet by name. No matter what, I can't set foot in this solar system anymore. If I accidentally cause harm to this planet, it'll be too late for regrets. On this day, everyone in the Black Dragon Mountain star field had the name Earth deeply imprinted in their minds. That's great. We don't have to worry about the so-called talent scouts anymore. What happened to the Nulan Shan family will never happen again. I really didn't expect even the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield leader to give face to our leader. The most excited were the humans of the Earth Alliance. All of them were extremely excited. My friend, this disciple of yours is a star level, right? I wonder if you've thought of letting him participate in the Genius Pinnacle battle? The Black Dragon Mountain King suddenly thought of something, extending his hand and pointing at Luo Feng, his gaze landing on Chu Bei. Genius Pinnacle battle? Chu Bei muttered, his eyes filled with curiosity. Mission announcement. Host's reputation points with the Devouring Star field has reached 90. Almost at the same time, the system's voice resounded in Chu Bei's mind. Chu Bei was stunned, his expression quickly returning to normal. Of all the missions he had received, this wasn't the first time they required reputation points. The Black Dragon Mountain King besides saw that Chu Bei had become interested. His lips curled into a smile, immediately explaining the mission to Chu Bei. Interesting. After hearing the Black Dragon Mountain King's description, Chu Bei had enough understanding of this Genius Pinnacle battle. In the vast universe, the strong preyed on the weak, and the human race was one of the pinnacle races of the universe. However, even though they were at the pinnacle now, that didn't mean they would always be at the pinnacle. Hence, in order to not fall, the human race would work hard to nurture elites. This so-called Genius Pinnacle battle was open to all the star-level warriors of the human universe countries. Through layers and layers of selections, the strongest would be chosen, and the rewards would be generous. As for the requirements, as long as one was a star level, they could participate. During this process, the various universe countries, trillions of galaxies and countless star-level humans would battle under absolutely fair conditions. At this level, it was enough to see a person's talent and comprehension, their level of genius. Disciple, are you mentally prepared? Chu Bei tilted his head to look at Luo Feng, his lips curled into a smile. The reason why he wanted Luo Feng to participate, the first reason was to use it to train him, increasing his battle strength. The second reason, which was the main reason, was to represent the Devouring Star Shop in the battle, to make the Devouring Star Shop's name known. After all, his new mission required the Devouring Star Shop's reputation to reach 90 points. I wonder if our Black Dragon Mountain Star Field's #1 genius will be able to enter the top 100,000 of the universe this time. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader suddenly let out a sigh. Country leader, it can't be that bad, right? Luo Feng looked at the Black Dragon Mountain country leader and couldn't help but say, from what I know, our entire Black Dragon Mountain star field has over 8,000 galaxies, with trillions of star-level warriors. Don't tell me that there hasn't been a genius that entered the top 100,000 of the universe before? Extremely difficult. Almost impossible. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader shook his head and sighed. The Ganwu Universe country has over 13,000 starfields, of which there are close to 1,000 subsidiary countries. Our Black Dragon Mountain Empire is only one of the subsidiary countries of the Ganwu Universe country. In terms of the number of warriors, we are a few levels lower than the Ganwu Universe country's direct starfields. Looking at the past, the number of times our Black Dragon Mountain Empire's #1 genius has entered the top 10,000 of the Ganwu Universe country can be counted on one hand. Much less the entire human race of the universe, where there are over 1,000 such high-level countries like the Ganwu Universe country. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader's gaze looked at Luo Feng, finally returning to Chu Bei. In the last genius battle, within the top 10,000 of the Ganwu Universe country, there wasn't anyone from our Black Dragon Mountain star field. Is the competition that intense? Luo Feng stared wide-eyed, his gaze wavering. Right, this is our Black Dragon Mountain Empire's humiliation. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader let out a self-mocking laugh. The surrounding temperature began to drop rapidly. The air began to freeze, forming ice crystals. Country leader, you're losing your composure. Hargray seemed to have noticed the change in the Black Dragon Mountain country leader's aura, rushing forward to say. Chapter 568. I've made a fool of myself. Hearing Hargray's words, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader knew he had lost his composure, immediately keeping his emotions in check. With the thought, the surrounding temperature returned to normal. Don't worry, it won't be the same result this time, Chu Bei said with a smile. What you mean is? The Black Dragon Mountain country leader seemed to have guessed something, looking at Luo Feng. Even though from his aura, he hadn't even reached the pinnacle of the star level, however he was after all the disciple of a knight, he definitely wouldn't be as simple as he looked on the surface. This was also why he wanted to invite Luo Feng to participate in the competition. Fenger, are you confident? Chu Bei looked at Luo Feng with interest. Luo Feng was slightly stunned, his gaze gradually becoming resolute. Your disciple will definitely not disappoint you. As his voice landed, a blur of black dots appeared around Luo Feng's body. The space around him actually began to warp. The pinnacle genius competition of the human universe wasn't held in the real world, but in the virtual universe. The virtual universe, according to the records, was created by the strongest warrior of the universe. He could use a special device to allow his consciousness to enter. The virtual universe's operation was 100% similar to the real world. It could be seen as a parallel world. Of course, even if a person in the virtual universe died, he would still be alive in the real world. Rumble. On the second day after Chu Bei brought Luo Feng to the Black Dragon Mountain Empire Palace, a shocking rumble resounded from the virtual universe, resounding in every corner. Not long after, in the virtual universe, in the air above the Black Dragon Mountain island that represented the Black Dragon Mountain star field, an incomparably huge black board with glowing edges appeared. Looking at the black board, there were words that were emitting a dazzling white light. Universe Humans, Pinnacle Genius Competition. Once every 10,000 years. Registration begins. It's organized by the Virtual Universe Company, along with all the universe countries. You are a genius? Unable to find an opponent at the same level? Then join the Pinnacle Genius Competition. Here, there will be many universe countries from the entire universe, trillions of geniuses engaging in intense battles. At the same time, a series of low yet majestic voices resounded from the Black Dragon Mountain Island. Looking around, one could see that this enormous notice that had appeared out of nowhere was more than 1,000,000 miles long and wide. Even on the Black Dragon Mountain Island, which could accommodate billions of people at the same time, one could clearly see it if they raised their heads. Accurately speaking, whether it was the announcement or the low voice, it didn't just appear on Black Dragon Mountain Island, it appeared on all the islands in the virtual universe. The battle of geniuses has begun! Haha, the grand event is about to begin. It's going to be lively. Trillions of geniuses from all the universe countries will battle. This is a huge event for the entire human race. Every year, the top 1,000 on the universe board will receive a shocking amount of rewards. By the way, are you going to sign up? Report my ass! Can't you have some self-awareness? With our strength, we'll be trampled if we go up. Isn't it better to just be a spectator? In an instant, all the cultivators on the continents that represented the high-level countries in the universe and the islands that represented the mid-level countries in the universe cheered excitedly. Then, in less than 15 minutes, the news spread from the virtual universe to the real universe. Following that, large amounts of star-level cultivators flooded into the virtual universe country to sign up for this battle. Black Dragon Mountain Empire, Slaughter Space. This was a vast desert, and there were thousands of black-clothed energy bodies densely packed in the desert. These energy bodies were all at the star level 9 level. In front of them, Luo Feng floated in mid-air, surrounded by black light dots. Wang! The thousands of energy bodies moved simultaneously, bringing about a buzzing sound, strange shouts coming from their mouths, as though they had all gone mad and rushed towards Luo Feng. Against this black mass of star-level army, Luo Feng's expression didn't change. Not only was there no fear on his face, it was the exact opposite. His eyes were filled with fighting spirit. Kill! With a single word, the black light dots around Luo Feng's body began to wrap around his fists. When the first group of black-clothed energy bodies were about to reach him, Luo Feng's silhouette moved, punching out with both fists. Chi La! Luo Feng's black fist flashed. As it neared the first black-clothed energy body, the latter immediately warped, and its energy dispersed. Pung! Luo Feng's movements didn't seem fast. However, every time he moved, with his black light-wrapped fists landing, there would always be several black-clothed energy bodies warping and collapsing. Gradually, Luo Feng even found a balance between his movements and his punches, combining fast and slow, creating a perfect rhythm. This disciple of mine is still acceptable, right? Chu Bei laughed as he looked at the Black Dragon Mountain country leader beside him. In front of him was a projection. On it was the scene of Luo Feng fighting the 1,000 energy bodies in the slaughter space. My friend must be joking. This isn't just acceptable. In front of your disciple, the geniuses of my Black Dragon Mountain star field are simply trash. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader looked excitedly at the projection, the smile on his face growing wider. Even though these 1,000 energy bodies weren't at the pinnacle of the star level, they were still at the star level 9 level. Looking at the entire Ganwu universe country, even though there were many geniuses that could kill them, however those that could do it as easily as Luo Feng definitely didn't exceed 100. In the past, of all the pinnacle geniuses of the human race, the Black Dragon Mountain star field had never entered the top 10,000. In the recent competitions, they were even outside the top 100,000. However, this time, this mysterious knight of unknown origin and Luo Feng's appearance made him see hope. Maybe this time, he would be able to enter the top 100 of the Ganwu universe country, and enter the top 1,000 of all the human universe countries. The top 100 of the Ganwu universe country, this was something he didn't even dare to think about before. Pun! Within the slaughter space, Luo Feng's footsteps moved, his fist continuously punching out. In just a few minutes, the close to 1,000 energy bodies were reduced to less than 100. Rumble! When the last 10 or so energy bodies rushed over, Luo Feng's fists clashed, a black light ball exploded around him. With a shocking explosion, the energy bodies that were originally in different positions were instantly sucked together, simultaneously warping and destroyed. Looking at the empty surroundings, Luo Feng left the slaughter space and appeared before Chu Bei, bowing deeply. Not bad. Chu Bei looked at Luo Feng and nodded calmly. The registration has begun. Enter the virtual universe. Yes, master. Luo Feng nodded, replying. Virtual universe, Black Dragon Mountain Island. Starfield? Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Powerhouse? Sky Sword Sect. Name? Li Zhong. Alright, next. The virtual universe company members stationed on Black Dragon Mountain Island were all busy. Quickly look, that punk looks familiar. My god, what kind of brain do you have? You're too forgetful. He's that earthling protected by the country leader. So he's a star level too. I just don't know how strong he is. I really want to spar with him. If he's strong enough, he may really be able to reach the stage where he can battle with me. The moment Luo Feng reached his registration spot, he immediately became the focal point of discussion. Starfield? Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Powerhouse? All Heaven Shop. Name? Luo Feng. Maybe it was because everyone was discussing Luo Feng, the virtual universe company member in charge of registration couldn't help but take another look at Luo Feng, almost as though he was trying to see if there was anything special about him. However, after studying him for a while, he still couldn't see anything special about him. After registering, Luo Feng exited the virtual universe and entered the slaughter space to continue his training. The genius battle was split into two parts. The first was the universe country selection, followed by the final pinnacle battle. Simply speaking, the first was the selection process within the universe countries, picking out the elites to participate in the final pinnacle battle of the entire human race. In the first part, the universe countries would pick out the top 1,000 warriors. In the second part, the top 1,000 warriors from every universe country would gather. The geniuses from all the universe countries would gather together for the final battle, deciding the top 1,000 of the human race. Little punks, the genius battle has been held many times, you should all know the rules. Compared to the previous years, the number of people registering this year has doubled, reaching 20 billion. I announce, we will first begin the elimination round, after which, there will only be 100,000 people left. At this time, a thick voice that caused the land and skies to tremble resounded throughout the space of the Ganwu universe. In the next moment, within the space, a giant whose face couldn't be seen clearly stood in space. The space around him warped slightly. His projection appeared in every corner of the universe country, including the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. The giant was surrounded by a resplendent light. Normal warriors couldn't even look at him directly. However, just hearing his voice was enough to make one's heart tremble. Beside him and behind him stood several powerful undyings, all of them looking respectful. Every undying had a similarly terrifying aura, and with a glance, there were at least 1,000 undyings around the giant. Chapter 569. Who is that person? How terrifying! Within the virtual universe, a sudden booming voice caused the space to tremble, causing one's soul to tremble. Some people's faces were filled with suspicion. Ganwu Universe Country Leader! The most powerful being! Including the Black Dragon Mountain Empire and the countless subsidiary countries, all the warriors immediately knelt down respectfully and excitedly towards the giant. They didn't expect that this time they would actually be able to see the legendary being, the one who had established the Ganwu Universe country, the one who had unimaginable abilities, the leader of the Ganwu Universe country. My friend, you should know our Universe country leader, right? The Black Dragon Mountain Empire leader looked at Chu Bei, his face filled with respect towards the Ganwu Universe country leader. This is my first time here. Chu Bei shook his head, his expression calm. Little punks, regarding the elimination of the Ganwu Universe country, the virtual universe will first be divided into 100 worlds. Every world will be given 200 million participants. These 200 million people will fight and kill each other in the same world, killing others to earn points. The more you kill, the more points you get. When the time is up, those who are ranked in the top 1,000 of their world will be considered to have passed the elimination. Every world will pick 1,000 people, 100 worlds, a total of 100,000 people. The Ganwu Universe country leader's booming voice once again resounded in everyone's ears. At the same time, the person with the highest points in each world will not have to go through the elimination rounds, directly obtaining the top 100 spots of the top 1,000. As for the remaining 900 spots, they will be fought over by others in arena battles. Half an hour later. Black Dragon Mountain Empire Great Hall. Teacher, I've been assigned to the 7th sector, Luo Feng said. It's about time, get ready. Chu Bei nodded. Rumble. Not long after Luo Feng entered the virtual universe world, a terrifying loud rumble sounded, announcing the start of the human race's pinnacle genius battle. The various universe countries' elimination rounds had begun. As a grand occasion for the entire human race, from the Ganwu Universe country leader to the normal universe citizens who could enter the virtual universe network, everyone paid close attention. Of course, every universe country's warriors, citizens, all paid close attention to their own universe country's elimination round. Virtual Universe, Ganwu Universe Continent, 7th Sector. Luo Feng surveyed his surroundings. This place was no different from the real world. The only difference was that there was a screen on his wrist, and on it was a blur of words. Participant, Luo Feng Empire, Black Dragon Mountain Empire Points, 1 affiliation, All Heavens Shop World Area, 7th World Area Points Rule, kill a contestant and get all their points. Every contestant starts with 1 point. Ranking, 189566602 Rumble. Suddenly, a loud sound came from not too far away from Luo Feng. Looking in the direction of the sound, he saw 2 figures of light intertwining and fighting in midair. So soon? Luo Feng muttered to himself. However, just as he finished speaking, a godly rainbow flew over from the west. This was a tall and sturdy man clad in origin armor, helmet, and combat boots. He was holding an axe in each hand. I can only say that your luck is really bad to have bumped into me. I hope your luck will be better next time. The tall and sturdy man smiled at Luo Feng. As his words landed, his body rushed forward and the axe in his left hand drew an arc, tearing through the air and heading straight for Luo Feng. You don't have the right to speak to me like that. Luo Feng smiled coldly. His right hand clenched into a fist, and a black glow appeared on his fist. Simply and swiftly, he met the attack. Pun! Just as Luo Feng's fist made contact with the axe in the man's hand, the axe made a cracking sound and broke apart. How is this possible? Looking at the broken axe in his hand, the tall and sturdy man's mouth opened wide. His eyes were filled with disbelief and shock. However, before he could finish what he wanted to say, the fist wrapped in black light had already smashed into his head. In the next moment, with a chi sound, the tall and sturdy man was completely sucked into the black glow fist and vanished. At this time, the screen on Luo Feng's arm vibrated and the information on the screen changed. Participant, Luo Feng Empire, Black Dragon Mountain Empire Points, 2 affiliation, All Heavens Shop World Area, 7th World Area Ranking, 111111602, Black Dragon Mountain Empire, Main Palace. Chu Bei and the Black Dragon Mountain country leader sat in the main palace, sipping tea while watching the events unfold in the 7th world. In the past few minutes, Luo Feng had met another 3 people. However, the battles all ended in an instant. Also, the third person's points had reached 3. Just like that, Luo Feng's points had reached 7. His ranking had also successfully entered the top 1000, at number 947. I didn't expect that in just a few minutes, Luo Feng would already be in the top 1000. With this speed, he has hopes of getting into the top 100, or even the top 10. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader laughed heartily. He didn't even bother to look at the other geniuses of the Black Dragon Mountain country. His entire focus was on Luo Feng. Chu Bei's expression didn't change at all. Almost as though to him, this result couldn't be any more normal. This pinnacle genius battle was merely a form of training for Luo Feng. Ganwu Universe Country, Imperial Star. In a luxurious universe ship, there was a group of young men and women holding wine glasses and eating delicacies. Through the external simulation, they were watching the battle in the 7th world. Haha, did you all see that? The top 10 are all directly under our universe country's starfields. A 3M tall man dressed in a luxurious long robe held a wine glass and laughed loudly. Qinyu, your Pingyu Empire's results aren't bad too. There are actually 3 from your empire in the top 100. Thank you for your majesty's compliment. Even though we aren't directly under your starfield, we are still ranked in the top 10 of the subsidiary empires. A man with braids and a peculiar jade stone embedded in his forehead laughed. Quickly look, there's actually someone from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire in the top 100. At this time, a short-haired young lady exclaimed, her voice filled with disbelief. Damn, it's true! What's the background of that Luo Feng? The man dressed in the luxurious long robe also noticed Luo Feng's presence. Following which, he looked at the red-clothed man beside him. Lu Long, aren't you the young master of the Black Dragon Mountain country? Quick, tell us! Actually, I'm quite shocked too. I didn't expect him to be so powerful. As for my understanding of him, I know very little too. However, he has a master. Even my father is very courteous to him. The red-clothed man called Lu Long replied. No matter what, this Luo Feng has really made your Black Dragon Mountain Empire proud. That's right, your Black Dragon Mountain Empire's performance before wasn't even worth looking at. However, from what I see, that Luo Feng is about to leave. A group of young men and women teased the red-clothed man. As time passed, the weaker ones had already been eliminated. The remaining ones had at least 10 points in their hands. Gradually, the battles became more and more intense. Those who were ranked outside the top 1,000 were still rushing towards this goal. As for the top 100, they were all rushing towards the first place. After all, this first place meant that they would be able to skip the elimination rounds and enter the finals of all the universes. It was also a symbol of glory. Fighting for one's own power and empire for that glory. Senior, your disciple's ability seems to be somewhat unfathomable. As he chatted with Chu Bei, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader felt that Chu Bei was more and more unfathomable. Gradually, the way he addressed him changed from friend to senior. There were less than 2 hours left before the elimination rounds ended. During this process, Luo Feng killed his way through. No matter how strong his opponent was, he would finish the battle within a minute. All of this originated from the terrifying ability released from within his body. No matter how strong his opponent's technique was, it only had one method. Swallow, swallow, swallow. As of now, Luo Feng's name had already successfully appeared in the top 10 of the 7th world. More accurately, after killing the previous person, he jumped to 9th place. Chapter 570. Quickly look, Draven's name has disappeared from the top of the list. My God, was he killed? No, he didn't die. He's only ranked 11th. He's been pushed out of the top 10. It's a punk called Luo Feng. My God! He actually came from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, a subsidiary empire. Crazy. Top 10, this has never happened before. Luo Feng's name had successfully broken the curse of the top 10 being all direct Starfield geniuses. Of course, it was also at this time that Luo Feng completely entered everyone's line of sight. Ganwu Universe Country, Imperial Star. Lu Long, this time your Black Dragon Mountain Empire has really made a name for itself because of this Luo Feng. On the ship, Peng Feather Empire's Jinyu said with some envy. However, that being said, this power called Allheaven Shop, isn't he the #1 power in your Black Dragon Mountain Empire? The short-haired lady pointed at the flying Luo Feng in the image, looking at Lu Long and asking. I won't hide it from you, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even know our empire had such a power. Towards the short-haired lady's question, Lu Long smiled, his expression was awkward. What? You've never heard of it before? Hearing Lu Long's words, the group of young men and women twitched their mouths. Ever since Chu Bei announced Earth's ownership in the Black Dragon Mountain Starfield projection, along with the Black Dragon Mountain country leader's words, the Empire immediately sent people to complete the connection between Earth and the vast universe. This included the virtual universe. Alliance Headquarters Building. Have you all seen it? That punk Luo Feng has already entered the top 10 of the 7th District world. He's indeed the leader's disciple. I believe that before long, even more people will know of Earth's name. After all, Luo Feng came from our world. When I reach the star level, I'll definitely join this genius battle, even if it's just a stepping stone. That's right, I don't care about the results, the most important thing is to participate. Hong, Thunder God and the upper echelon of the Alliance were discussing intensely, their expressions excited. Su Xian, why do you think the leader only has eyes for Luo Feng? Is my talent that much worse than Luo Feng's? Wei Wen looked at Su Xian enviously. It's only been a few days, and he reached the star state. He's representing the all-heavens shop and conquering the universe. Yeah, the gap between us and him is getting bigger and bigger. Su Xian muttered to herself. No one knew what she was thinking. Let's go. We'll go to the all-heavens store to buy some treasures and cultivate. Virtual Universe, Ganwu Universe Continent, 7th World. In the silent and bloody desolate desert, Luo Feng stood alone. At this moment, he suddenly sensed something. He raised his head and looked to the east. His eyes narrowed. A streak of green light flew over like a bolt of lightning. Then, it quickly decelerated and revealed its figure. It was a green-haired young man who was standing on a cyan wheel-like weapon. The edge of the weapon was as sharp as a blade. You are Luo Feng? The only non-subordinate starfield to make it into the top 10? The green-haired youth sized up Luo Feng, his eyes gleaming with a peculiar light, filled with excitement. Once I kill you and get your points, I'll be able to surpass that 100 ghosts punk and become number 1. The green-haired youth continued to speak while licking his lips. His gaze became fierce and bloodthirsty. Those who had the same thoughts as you have already been eliminated. Luo Feng mocked as he looked at the green-haired man. His lips curled into a smile, his expression devoid of fear. Of course, he had the same thoughts as his opponent. After all, his opponent was currently ranked number 2. As long as he killed him and got the points, he would be able to sit firmly in the number 1 spot. At the same time, the cultivators from the outside world who had been paying attention to the events in the 7th world, when they saw Luo Feng and the green-haired man meet, they immediately went wild. Quickly look! Luo Feng and Ola are going up against each other. Ha ha! 1/9 and 1 second, this is going to be a good show. Who do you think will win between the two? Nonsense, it'll definitely be Ola. He was born with a dazzling aura. Even in our starfields, he's one of the top geniuses. But Luo Feng isn't simple either. These past few days, he's been killing everything in his path, like a madman. No matter who wins, 100 ghosts won't be able to keep their number 1 spot. It wasn't just the people who had been paying attention to the 7th world. Even those who had been paying attention to the other worlds all looked over when they heard the commotion. After all, in the past elimination competitions, it was almost impossible for the top 10 to fight each other, unless one of them had a 100% guarantee of killing the opponent. Ganwu Universe Country on a ship. Lu Long, your Black Dragon Mountain Empire sure is unfortunate. It wasn't easy for Luo Feng to make it into the top 10, only to meet Ola. You're destined to stop here, what a pity. The youth sitting in the main seat shook his head and sighed. Your Majesty, maybe this is the fate of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, haha. A group of youths were laughing at their misfortune. He can only blame himself for being unlucky. Lu Long let out a long breath, his expression dejected. Black Dragon Mountain Empire, Main Palace. Senior, I've heard of this Ola before. He's one of the top geniuses of the Ola family in the Starfield. Not long ago, I even heard that he jumped levels and killed a universe level. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader looked at the scene in the projection. His expression was ugly, his gaze filled with helplessness. Just as he finished speaking, a dazzling golden light shot out from his body, and a large amount of golden light formed a golden airflow that rushed towards Luo Feng. Facing Ola's attack, Luo Feng didn't dodge. Just like before, he clenched his right hand into a fist covered in a layer of black light. Chi La! With a shrill sound, the golden airflow was swallowed by the black light and disappeared. Is this all you've got? How strange! Ola stared at Chu Bei's right fist as if he was sensing the energy of the black light. He frowned. Luo Feng didn't care about what Ola said. He clenched his left hand into a fist and rushed forward, waving both fists. Rumble! However, just as his fists were about to hit Ola, there was a low explosion, and Ola left an afterimage on the spot. This time, Luo Feng's fists missed. No wonder you were able to enter the top 10. You're indeed quite strong. Ola spoke again. He had already appeared 10 m away, his brows furrowed with caution. Just now, he felt the terrifying energy contained within Luo Feng's fists at close range. It was a terrifying suction force. If he hadn't dodged in time, his intuition told him that even someone as strong as him would have left this world and been eliminated. Luo Feng frowned in the distance, his expression becoming serious. He had to say, this Ola was much stronger than the other level 9s he had met before. Even though they were of the same level, their strength was like heaven and earth. Just the terrifying speed he had displayed before was enough to make him take him seriously. The strength within your fists is terrifying, but your speed isn't fast. As long as I avoid your fists, I'll be fine. Ola spoke his analysis. After which, he moved again, heading towards Luo Feng. Chapter 571. Again! In the battlefield, Luo Feng roared and waved his fists. Rumble! Amidst the explosions, Aola nimbly dodged Luo Feng's fists, simultaneously sending out lethal attacks at Luo Feng. However, Luo Feng was always able to meet the attacks with his fists, forcing Aola to retract his attacks. In the end, there was a series of explosions in the air, but the two of them didn't even touch at all. Just like that, the battle continued for about half an hour, before Aola retreated and pulled away from Luo Feng. You are very strong! Aola praised Luo Feng. Actually, he was praising Luo Feng's fists for the mysterious swallowing energy. Even though his speed was above his opponent's, the difference wasn't huge. This allowed him to often launch lethal attacks, but his opponent would quickly block them with his fists. And in terms of strength, his opponent's fists made him wary, hence he had no choice but to dodge. This repeated process made him very depressed and helpless. My newest spirit weapon was originally meant to be used against the 100 ghosts. I didn't expect to have to use it early. After a while, Aola's gaze focused, as he spoke coldly. With a flip of his hands, a full moon appeared in each of his palms. The two seemed to affect each other, as they spun madly. Dang dang! With a crisp sound of collision, Olga threw the two full moon discs into the air, and their speed soared rapidly. Shio shio! With a space-breaking sound, the two full moons tore through space, instantly appearing before Luo Feng. Not bad. Luo Feng frowned. He could feel that the two full moons were infused with the great path of the origin. Almost like two stars revolving around each other in the universe, they were filled with mysteries. Chi La! Luo Feng didn't hesitate, immediately clenching his fists and rushing at the first full moon. However, as the energy ripples from the full moon were too terrifying, and its speed was incomparably fast, it actually broke free from the swallowing energy from Luo Feng's fists. Luckily, Luo Feng sensed the danger immediately and avoided it by a hair's breadth. However, after successfully dodging the first full moon disk, the second full moon disk followed closely from a different direction. Luo Feng didn't dare hesitate, immediately stepping into space and retreating. If he was hit, he would have lost due to his carelessness. Let's see how long you can last! Not far away, Aola controlled the two full moons, continuously attacking Luo Feng. Just from his expression, using the two full moon was obviously a huge drain on him. Quickly look! Luo Feng is being suppressed. The situation is clear. Looking that Luo Feng can't last much longer. As I thought, the final victory will still belong to Aola. As long as he kills Luo Feng, he will be first. That's right. What weapon is that weapon? In the outside world, those who had been paying attention to the situation on the battlefield voiced their opinions one after another. Ganwu Universe Country, within a Lux ship. Your Highness, what's that pair of full moons? The short-haired girl looked at the young man in luxurious robes with confusion in her eyes. If my guess is correct, that should be the Nanshan armament, the young man said. What? This AO law can actually control the Nanshan armament. Indeed, from the start, this battle was already set in stone. Before this, I actually had the illusion that Luo Feng could win. Hearing the words Nanshan armament, the group of youths within the ship all exclaimed, their faces filled with shock. The Nanshan armament was infused with the gold and space origin laws. It was one of the 9 godly weapons of a spirit reader. To a star level, to be able to use the Nanshan armament was simply inconceivable. The Nanshan armament was split into 9 different forms. Just the first form required one to have sufficient comprehension of the gold origin laws, and a strong consciousness to be able to control it successfully. Even a genius like Ao La had to study it for many years, and only 10 days before the elimination competition could he be considered to have grasped it. At this level, even if he only grasped the first form, he could be said to be invincible. Black Dragon Mountain Empire, Main Palace. Senior, I really didn't expect this punk Ao La to be able to control the Nanshan armament at the star level. Do you think Luo Feng can reverse the situation? The Black Dragon Mountain country leader looked at Chu Bei, probing as he asked. That punk does have some ability. It's a pity he picked the wrong opponent. Chu Bei smiled indifferently, as though he wasn't worried about Luo Feng being eliminated. Luo Feng, it's time to end this. In the 7th world's battlefield, Ao La suddenly let out a loud roar, after which his hands interweaved fiercely, as though he was using all his strength. In the next moment, the 2 full moons overlapped and transformed into a dreamy longsword that was shrouded in a faint golden light. Rumble! The 2 full moons overlapped and formed a dreamy golden blade. A powerful energy shot out from the tip of the blade, immediately tearing through space, ripples spreading outwards. Xiao! In an instant, the golden blade shot towards Luo Feng. As it was too fast, it became a resplendent golden rainbow. As it was too glaring, the spectators couldn't even clearly see what was happening. Indeed, the Nanshan armament, just the first level, is already so terrifying. No, that should already be close to the 2nd level. If that's the case, under this blade, Luo Feng will definitely die. Just as everyone was certain that Luo Feng would die under the golden blade, large amounts of black light dots began to appear around his body. At the same time, Luo Feng's palms formed a circle. Swallow, Yada Mirror! Following Luo Feng's cold shout, the black dots of light around his body instantly rushed into the area where his 2 hands formed a circle. In an instant, the circle formed by his palms formed a black light film, almost like a mirror formed by the accumulation of photons. Chi! With a buzzing sound, a terrifying black light shot out from the mirror, forming a path of light that welcomed the golden blade. Kacha! The 2 clashed, bringing about a shocking explosion. After a short stalemate, the resplendent golden blade began to have small cracks. Quickly look! How can this be? Ola's Nanshan armament actually has cracks. Not only that, it's even warped. Just what kind of energy is that black light? Those who had been paying attention to the battle immediately had a change in expression, their eyes filled with shock. However, before the crowd could even settle down, an even more shocking scene occurred. That black light seemed to be infused with even more energy. Its terrifying swallowing force actually caused the space around it to warp. With a buzzing sound, the originally slightly warped golden blade, with a whoosh, completely entered the black light and disappeared. After the black light swallowed the golden blade, it didn't dissipate. Instead, it instantly extended towards Ola's body. Maybe it was because the Nanshan armament used too much of his spirit energy. The current Ola looked extremely weak. However, against the terrifying black light, he still used all his strength to unleash his fastest movement. However, what was unbelievable was that the black light seemed to have grown a pair of eyes. It actually followed Ola, and its speed became even faster. Chapter 572. Pun! The black beam hit Ola's body, bringing about a huge explosion. Following which, Ola let out a cry. his entire body warped and vanished within the black beam. Damn it! I can't accept this! Within the Aola family of the Ganwu universe country, Aola woke up from reality. He fiercely punched the space and let out a roar. His face was filled with unwillingness and regret. On the other side, the information on the AI devices of the virtual universe's seventh world had changed. Ola, who was originally second in points, had disappeared from the top 10. The originally first 100 ghosts had become second. As for the first name, it had become Luo Feng. What's going on? How did first suddenly become Luo Feng? Where did he get so many points all of a sudden? Ola's name has even disappeared. My God! Ola couldn't have been killed by Luo Feng, right? Luo Feng was originally ninth. Thinking about his points before and now, isn't this difference the same as Ola's points before? This is crazy. This Luo Feng from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's All-Heaven shop is already so terrifying. Within the seventh world, the contestants who didn't know about the battle between Luo Feng and Ola, after discovering this shocking change, were all shocked and speechless. Ganwu Universe Country, within a luxurious ship. It's actually such a result. A braided man with a peculiar jade embedded in his forehead was stunned as he looked at the projection, his expression stiff. This Luo Feng actually defeated Ola, who can control the Nanshan armament. That's unbelievable. The short-haired lady was so shocked she couldn't help but put down the wine glass in her hand. Did you all notice that energy he used? I've never come into contact with it before. A long-haired youth spoke, his voice filled with shock. Lu Long, did he learn your Black Dragon Mountain Empire's techniques? I'm very interested in that energy. I wonder if you have any way of getting it from your father? There are many benefits. As the crown prince of the universe country, the luxurious robed man looked at Lu Long beside him and said, Your Majesty, I can tell you with certainty that the powerful ability he used was definitely not our Black Dragon Mountain Empire's techniques. If it is as you think, our Black Dragon Mountain Empire would not be ranked outside the top 10,000 in the past. Lu Long cupped his fist respectfully at the man in luxurious robes. In my opinion, this should be related to the All-Heavens shop he belongs to. The man in the luxurious robe looked at Lu Long and nodded with his eyes half closed. Go back and learn more about this All-Heavens shop, then tell me the relevant information. If you can really help me get the cultivation technique he practices, you will be rewarded handsomely. Don't worry, Your Highness. I will do my best. Lu Long smiled. He was smiling because Luo Feng had defeated Ao La, not because he was greedy for the reward the man in the luxurious robes spoke of. Black Dragon Mountain Empire, within the main palace. Elder, is Luo Feng's final move the Yada Mirror? Truly amazing! The Black Dragon Mountain Country King did not even try to hide his excitement, as he laughed heartily. Over countless tens of thousands of years, his Black Dragon Mountain Empire finally had a genius enter the top 100 of a world within the Ganwu Universe Country, and it was a genius who suppressed all the other geniuses within the starfields, and was able to directly participate in the true human universe great competition. Looking at Luo Feng in the projection, Chu Bei nodded satisfyingly. Swallowing the Yada mirror was something he had taught Luo Feng. The theory behind it was to compress the swallowing energy to form a light beam and unleash an extremely powerful attack. As for the results of the battle before, Chu Bei was still very satisfied. On the other side, within the seventh world. This AOLA's points sure are impressive. Luo Feng lowered his head to look at the screen on his wrist. The points displayed there made him happy. Participant, Luo Feng Empire, Black Dragon Mountain Empire points, 20007521 Powerhouse, All-Heavens Shop World Area 7 points rules, killing a competitor earns all their points, every participant starts with 1 point. Points ranking, 1 Luo Feng's current points were already 4 million higher than the original number 100 ghosts. 1-1. 15 minutes later. With a rumble, the seventh world violently shook, after which it swiftly stopped. Everyone's points were completely fixed. At this time, all the universe countries' elimination rounds had ended. Little rascals, the elimination rounds are now over. Those who have successfully entered the next round, I hereby congratulate you. After a while, a thick voice that shook the land and skies resounded throughout the Ganwu universe's space. After which, a giant whose face couldn't be seen clearly appeared in space. It was the Qian universe country leader. With that, all the subsidiary countries and direct starfields immediately knelt down towards the giant, their faces filled with respect. Right now, I announce the number 1 winners of the various worlds. They will be exempted from the rest of the competition and will immediately enter the Human Universe Country Pinnacle competition. The Ganwu Universe Country leader's projection appeared in every corner of the Universe Country, his body emitting a resplendent light. His thick voice caused the space around to tremble, causing one's soul to tremble. First world, number 1 Allah So, Ganwu Universe Country's direct starfield, Allah family. Second world, number 1 Bei Ta, Ganwu Universe Country's direct starfield, Divine Weapon Hall. Third world, number 1 Lukar, Ganwu Universe Country's direct starfield, Imperial family. Fourth world, number 1 Lu Befeng, Ganwu Universe Country's direct starfield, Imperial family. One after another, familiar names and powers were revealed from the Ganwu Universe Country leader's mouth, floating about the Universe Country. Behind him, several powerful undyings stood respectfully. Every one of them similarly had a godly aura that made one's heart palpitate. With a glance, there were at least 1,000 of them. Seventh world, number 1 Luo Feng, Black Dragon Mountain Empire, All Heaven Shop. Within the space, the Ganwu Universe Country leader's voice continued to resound. Black Dragon Mountain Empire? How is that possible? It's just a subsidiary empire. How can it take the number 1 position of a world? All Heaven Shop? How come I've never heard of this power before? And this Luo Feng, I've never heard of him before. I didn't expect the Black Dragon Mountain Country leader to actually have such a trump card. He's really shocking the world. Looks like I'll have to go back and learn more about the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, especially this power called All Heaven Shop. Very quickly, the warriors of the Ganwu universe fell into an intense discussion. It was only those who had been paying attention to the 7th world from the beginning. Their expressions didn't change much. When Luo Feng had successfully killed Ao La, the result had already been decided. At the same time, within the main palace of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, the Black Dragon Mountain Country leader's carefree laughter resounded. Senior, this time my Black Dragon Mountain has really relied on you and your teacher's good fortune. If it weren't for you, the name Black Dragon Mountain Empire wouldn't have appeared in the mouth of the Ganwu Universe Country leader. I'm afraid it would still be forgotten by everyone. After laughing from the bottom of his heart, the Black Dragon Mountain Country leader cupped his fist towards Chu Bei, his eyes filled with respect. The true competition hasn't even begun. Chu Bei nodded his head towards the Black Dragon Mountain Country king, his mouth carrying a smile. After the elimination competition ended, Luo Feng continued to enter the slaughter space to continue his battle training, and those who didn't get the number 1 position in the world would compete for the remaining 900 slots of the 1,000 slots. 2 days later, the Ganwu Universe Country's second elimination round had ended, and the remaining 900 slots were selected. Little punks, the 1,000 of you are the most exceptional of our Ganwu Universe Country's selections. You all have the right to represent our Ganwu Universe Country and compete against the geniuses of the other universe countries. What you all need to know is, this universe pinnacle battle is far more intense than your previous battles. The human race, 1,008 universe countries, of which there are some universe countries that are even more vast than our Ganwu Universe Country, with many more galaxies. The universe pinnacle battle of humanity's geniuses will be held tomorrow. While there's still some time, rest and recuperate. Strive to unleash your greatest strength on the battlefield. Even if you lose, you have to lose beautifully. The Ganwu Universe Country leader's powerful and majestic voice resounded throughout the vast starfield, clearly reaching everyone's ears. Understood. Including Luo Feng, the 1,000-star level warriors all gave a resounding reply. Another day passed. Primal Chaos City, this was a city located within the primal universe. In the past, every universe pinnacle battle of humanity's geniuses, the various universe countries would all have a certain number of slots to spectate from Primal Chaos City. The slots from the Ganwu universe country were split between the world's #1 empire, and each empire could only have 3 slots. Senior, this is my first time coming to Primal Chaos City. Looking at the laws visible to the naked eye, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader's expression was extremely excited, without any of the composure a country leader should have. Lord, you should know, the universe we live in is the most vast. Oh, the races are incomparably diverse. This vast universe is known as the Primal Universe. As it is an extremely complete universe, it is extremely difficult to comprehend the origin laws. And this Primal Universe is different. It is in the early stages of the universe's evolution. The origin laws are visible and can be easily comprehended. Of course, to enter the Primal Universe, that is also extremely difficult. One has to make a huge contribution. The Black Dragon Mountain country leader floated beside Chu Bei, explaining the differences between the Primal Universe their universe country was in and the Primal Chaos City's Primal Universe. Chu Bei looked indifferently at the chaotic air currents that occasionally floated about in the surrounding void, then looked at the Black Dragon Mountain King who was excitedly talking nonstop beside him, before nodding his head slightly. Looking out, one could see the skies in the distance occasionally splitting apart, and one could even see large amounts of mysterious engravings flowing around the edges of the space cracks, threads connecting, the engravings on the threads floating, almost like a loom, causing the skies to grow bigger and bigger. Obviously, the universe space cracks were constantly being repaired by the universe origin laws, within which there were all sorts of origin laws. I am Primal Chaos City's Envoy 166. May I know who the two of you are? At this time, a low voice resounded. After which, a black-robed man with green scales all over his head landed before Chu Bei and the Black Dragon Mountain country leader, his face filled with a professional smile. I am the Black Dragon Mountain country leader. I have been invited to the Primal Chaos Plaza to watch the Genius Pinnacle battle. Sensing the energy ripples from the envoy before him, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader couldn't help but take in a deep breath. The other party was actually an official level undying no weaker than him. And because of that, the Black Dragon Mountain country leader didn't refer to himself as the Emperor, instead referring to himself as I. This Primal Chaos City was far more terrifying than he had imagined. The two of you, please follow me. The emissary gestured towards the Black Dragon Mountain country king and took the lead to walk in front. During this process, the envoy sized up Chu Bei, his eyes flashing with an undetectable peculiarity. With his official level, he was actually unable to sense this person's energy ripples. It was strange. After about 15 minutes, the Black Dragon Mountain King seemed to have comprehended something, suddenly letting out a surprised cheer. The Ganwu Universe Country King took a look at the Black Dragon Mountain King, letting out a voice that entered everyone's mind, causing their souls to tremble. Primal Chaos Plaza, there were many generations of powerful beings who sat here to comprehend. These absolute warriors, in the process of comprehending, would occasionally carve. Hence they left behind many carvings that contained the thoughts of these strong warriors. According to the rules, even after the Battle of the Pinnacle Geniuses ends, you can still stay for another week. If you are interested in these carvings, you can study them thoroughly before leaving. Indeed, the Primal Chaos City of the Primal Universe. The sacred place that all the strong warriors yearn for. Hearing the Ganwu Universe Country King's words, the Black Dragon Mountain King's eyes gleamed, after which he once again immersed himself in his comprehension. During this process, the Ganwu Universe Country King also took notice of Chu Bei, and was shocked to discover that he didn't seem to care at all, His expression was as though he didn't care about the comprehension left behind by these knights or even more terrifying beings. Rumble, rumble, rumble! Just as the Black Dragon Mountain King and the others were immersed in their comprehension, the southwest region of the plaza suddenly shook violently, the sound causing the land and skies to tremble. Chapter 574. See your way! A furious roar filled with hatred resounded throughout the skies of Primal Chaos City. At the same time, a terrifying lightning energy instantly pierced through tens of millions of li. Not just the people in the plaza, even the warriors on the balconies of the various training residences all opened their eyes and looked towards the source of the sound. This energy ripple. The group of country leaders in the Ganwu region were all shocked. The group of them all looked towards the southwest region in shock. As for the Undyings that were closer, they were immediately suppressed by this powerful energy until their faces went pale. Chu Bei looked over too, only that he wasn't as shocked as the others, he was extremely calm. In the southwest region, there was an incredibly tall and sturdy huge man dressed in gold armor, almost like a god of heaven and earth, wielding a huge axe the size of himself, waving it towards an absolute being whose entire body had transformed into lightning. From the lightning energy from before was emitted when the latter dodged the huge axe. That is, Mysterious Star Universe Country Leader and Thunder Soaring Universe Country Leader! My God! Why are the two Universe Country Leaders fighting? Looking at them, it's a life and death battle. On the plaza, the group of invited warriors recognized the two absolute beings fighting in the distance. They couldn't help but take in a cold breath, their expressions shocked. The two of them have always been at odds. The universe countries they govern often have conflicts. They have sparred many times in the primal universe, just that they can't do anything to each other. At this time, the Ganwu universe country leader glanced at the group behind him and said indifferently. It wasn't just him. The other universe country leaders seemed to know about the feud between the two, hence they weren't too shocked. Are these two guys crazy? Don't they know the rules of Primal Chaos City, daring to fight to the death? So what if they're universe country leaders? Do they really think Primal Chaos City is their territory? They probably think they're invincible just because they've entered the night realm. Even if it's a night, fighting in Primal Chaos City it won't end well. The universe warriors that stayed in Primal Chaos City all year round, watching the intense battle between the two universe country leaders, they all spoke out. I won't rest until I die. The towering Xian Star Universe country leader's eyes were bloodshot as he waved his astonishing huge axe over and over again. Kill! Thunder Soaring Universe country leader roared and waved the lightning spear in his hands to attack Xianxing Universe country leader. Amidst the rumbling explosion, the void where the two of them were was shattered, and chaotic air currents surged. Is this a battle between universe knights? In the Ganwu region, a group of undying empires all had pale faces. Looking at the battle between venerables, they were like a group of ants, while the two people fighting in the distance were like two ancient gods. He's too strong. The venerable one is far more terrifying than I imagined. The Black Dragon Mountain King held his breath as he looked at the shattered space and the surging origin source laws in the distance, his eyes wide open. Then, he subconsciously looked at Chu Bei. The person beside him was also a venerable one. They had all seen venerables before. For example, the Ganwu country master was a venerable, but he had always kept his aura hidden. And the battle before them, this was the first time they had seen a venerable one truly enraged. This battle, with just a raise of his hand, he tore apart all sorts of origin source laws, shattering pieces of universe space. It's about to end. Suddenly, Chu Bei spat out a light voice from his mouth. Senior, what do you mean? Rumble! Just as the Black Dragon Mountain King opened his mouth to ask Chu Bei, the entire primal universe resounded with a furious snort. In the next moment, the entire Primal Chaos City went dark. Following which, all the warriors were shocked to discover that the space cracks in the sky that were occasionally shattering and mending, The revolving universe laws had all suddenly stopped, even the chaos airflow had stopped floating. Within the southwest region battlefield, the two universe country leaders who were fighting had all stopped. Another thunderous boom rang out. Above the heads of the two universe country leaders, a huge palm formed completely from the chaos airflow appeared. After which, this chaos airflow palm fiercely slapped down, as though the sky was pressing down. Pun! Pun! After which, under the gazes of countless great beings, the two night-level universe country leaders were reduced to dust, as though they were tofu. Gulp! At this moment, Primal Chaos City was silent. One could hear the sound of everyone swallowing their saliva. It must be the city lord. As expected, so what if he's a venerable? Those who dare to fight in Primal Chaos City will also be suppressed. As time passed, a voice broke the silence. Chi! Chi! Not long after, the minced meat on the battlefield regrouped and condensed into two human figures. They were the master of Xianxing Cosmic Country and the master of Lei Lin Cosmic Country. At this moment, their faces were pale and their auras were extremely weak. Looking at the giant palm above their heads, their eyes were filled with fear. City Lord, please spare my life. Seeing that the giant palm was about to fall again, the two monarchs looked at each other and quickly begged for mercy. They had heard of the Primal Chaos City leader's strength, but they had thought that he was not much stronger than them. That was why they dared to ignore the rules of the city. However, just now, they had personally experienced the terror of the Primal Chaos City leader. He was not even on the same level as them. It was too terrifying. First Law Enforcement Team, take Sven and Leibo out of the Primal Universe and send them to the Starfield prison. The giant palm did not fall. Instead, a low voice resounded, with a metallic texture, resounding throughout the Primal Universe. Yes! As they shouted in unison, 5 bloody lights appeared beside the two universe country leaders. Facing the law enforcement team, the two universe country leaders who were already heavily injured had no resistance. Their eyes were filled with regret. Just how strong is the Primal Chaos City leader? That's 2 universe country leaders, both of them at the night level. Before the city leader, they actually had no resistance at all. Looking at the 2 silhouettes obediently following the law enforcement team and disappearing into the sky, the other universe country leaders on the plaza all looked at each other. At this moment, they clearly understood how terrifying the Primal Chaos City leader was. He didn't even reveal his true body. Just a palm with the chaotic airflow across the void space was enough to cause the 2 universe knights to explode and lose their ability to fight. Chubei, on the other hand, had a rough idea of the Primal Chaos City leader's power from that palm. If these universe knights were equivalent to a complete supreme being, then the Primal Chaos City leader's level was equivalent to a true immortal in the Perfect Worlds training system. And from the aura before, the Primal Chaos City leader should be at the pinnacle of true immortal. Don't use your ignorance to challenge the rules of Primal Chaos City. Looking at the entire Primal Universe and Primal Universe, the city leader is the pinnacle being. So what if they are universe country leaders? They are nothing in the eyes of the city leader. Killing is killing! At this time, the powerful voice of the law enforcement team captain, who had already left, floated above the plaza, lingering around the ears of the other universe country leaders and the group of great beings. Country leader, has the Primal Chaos City leader surpassed the night level? In the Ganwu region, including the Black Dragon Mountain country leader, a group of official and emperor-level undyings looked towards the Ganwu universe country leader, their faces filled with confusion. Our level is known as a universe knight. Those who have surpassed this level are known as universe masters. The Ganwu universe country leader said calmly. Could it be that this Primal Chaos City leader has already entered the ranks of universe masters? An empire country leader asked. The Ganwu universe country leader nodded. Hence, after personally witnessing the tragic state of those 2 punks, you all had better behave yourselves in Primal Chaos City. After that, the Ganwu universe country leader slowly closed his eyes, quietly waiting for the pinnacle battle of the entire human race to begin. Virtual universe. Little punks, the pinnacle battle of the geniuses of the entire universe is about to begin. You all will be transported to the Glory Continent. After half an hour, a powerful and loud voice resounded in every corner of the virtual universe. As the voice landed, the 1,000 geniuses of the Ganwu continent, including Luo Feng, all lit up with resplendent light, after which they were transported to a brand new world opened up in the virtual universe. This was a vast continent. Looking from afar, the continent had 1,008 skyscrapers, naturally forming a ring. Every skyscraper corresponded to a universe country. And the place where Luo Feng and the others were transported to was an incredibly huge plaza formed by the ring region. Accurately speaking, it wasn't just the 1,000 geniuses of the Ganwu universe country. All 1,008 geniuses of the universe countries were transported to this plaza. In just a moment, the originally empty plaza was filled with people. A total of 1,000,000 star-level geniuses from the entire universe had gathered. It has begun. Almost at the same time, the many country leaders and warriors in the Primal Universe Plaza opened their eyes, gazing towards the huge projection in the center of the plaza. Little punks, I represent the Virtual Universe Company to welcome your arrival. Virtual Universe, Glory Continent, a warm voice suddenly resounded in the plaza, clearly reaching everyone's ears. Hearing the voice, all the participants immediately looked up in shock. In the empty sky, a man wearing a green battle robe with purple scales on his head appeared out of thin air. He had a smile on his face, almost like an ancient god. The natural aura he emitted made the over 1,000,000 youths involuntarily submit. Also, even though they could see the green-robed man with their naked eyes, they had a vague feeling that the man who spoke seemed to be in a different space from them. That feeling of time and space being messed up made them feel very uncomfortable. 1,008 universe countries. Every universe country will pick 1,000 geniuses. There's a total of over 1,000,000 geniuses here. The green-robed man floated in midair, gazing down at the over 1,000,000 geniuses, his voice warm. Our Virtual Universe Company will pick the strongest 1,000 of you and absorb them into the core of our Virtual Universe Company. The top 100 will be able to enter the primal world to study the origin laws for a year. The top 10 will be able to study for 3 years. The first place will be nurtured as the next controller of the Virtual Universe Company. What? The top 1,000 will become the core of the Virtual Universe Company. The top 100 will be able to enter the primal world to train. And it's for a year. The first place will become the successor of the Virtual Universe Company. Hearing the green-robed man's words, the over 1,000,000 geniuses immediately exclaimed, looking at each other, their faces filled with excitement. Chapter 575. Virtual Universe Company, that's a huge leviathan of the entire vast universe. Its position far surpasses even the universe countries. Not just the 1,000,000 participating geniuses, even the universe country leaders on the plaza all revealed shocked expressions when they heard the man's words. Obviously, they didn't know before that the first place reward would be the next leader of the Virtual Universe Company. This news came too suddenly, catching them off guard. At their level, they were all very clear on what this meant. If this first place really landed in their universe country, that would mean the Virtual Universe Company was leaning towards their universe country. Little punks, listen well, the first round selection rules. Our Virtual Universe Company has prepared over 1,000,000 training spaces for you, one for each person. Within the training space, there's a tower with 7 levels. You'll start from the first level, after which you'll proceed to the second level, all the way until you're killed by the life forms within the tower and kicked out of the virtual universe. During this process, your points will be calculated based on your results within the training spaces. The top 1,000 will advance, the rest will be eliminated. Of course, these 1,000 will be accepted as core members of the Virtual Universe Company regardless of their results in the following competitions. As for the top 10, you'll be able to enter the final 16 finals. The remaining 6 spots will be determined in the next round of the tag team battles. The first 2 rounds will be conducted within the virtual universe. As for the final 16 finals, to allow you to unleash your full potential, the battlefield will be changed to Primal Chaos City within the Primal Universe. Of course, you don't have to worry, Primal Chaos City has enough warriors to ensure your safety. After hearing the man's words, the 1,000,000 geniuses from the 1008 universe countries were all stunned. They didn't expect that just one training space would eliminate over 1,000,000. Do you all understand the rules? Just as the 1,000,000 geniuses were discussing animatedly, the green-robed man spoke once more. His vigorous voice carried a sense of majesty. Understood. Hearing that, the 1,000,000 geniuses were all shaken, immediately responding. Since it's like that, then I announce, the pinnacle battle of humanity officially begins. The man's gaze swept past the 1,000,000 geniuses, smiling as he spoke, waving his right hand. In the next moment, there was a huge rumble. A formless peculiar energy descended upon the circular plaza. In an instant, the 1,000,000 geniuses all glowed with a peculiar light, teleporting and disappearing. Whoosh! Luo Feng appeared on a meteorite and looked around. There were several tiny stars in the distance. A 7-story tower floated in front of him. It was the Tower of Trials that the green-robed man had mentioned. Each tower was like a huge mountain. They were at least 10 kilometers tall and had a radius of a few kilometers. Trial space. Luo Feng lowered his head to look at his wrist. There was a screen on it, just like the Ganwu Universe Country's elimination. Participant: Luo Feng Universe Country, Ganwu Universe Country Empire, Black Dragon Mountain Empire Affiliation, points, 0 ranking, non-current trial space, number 7520. Note 1. You can get a maximum of 10,000 points per floor of the trial tower. The higher the floor, the harder it is to get points. If you succeed in every floor, you can get 70,000 points. 2. Once you die, the trial ends. 3. There are 2 ways to pass through each floor. First, kill all the targets on this floor and obtain the highest number of points to be directly teleported to the next floor. 2. If you don't kill all the targets, but are able to survive for 2 hours without dying, you will still be teleported to the next floor. The number of points awarded will be based on the number of targets killed. 4. When all the participants have died, the trial ends and the ranking is determined. During the trial, every participant's ranking will change in real time. Interesting. After reading the information on the screen, Luo Feng's lips curled into a smile, eager to try. Especially the 4th point, the end of all death trials. What did this mean? Which meant, in the eyes of the people who created this trial space, they didn't think anyone could pass all 7 floors of the tower. After understanding the rules, Luo Feng walked towards the tower. Luo Feng had just pushed open the door when the words on the screen changed. First level, 10,000 ferocious beasts blood hair mammoths. Every time you kill a ferocious beast, you get 1 point. Killing all of them gives you 10,000 points. Looking around, the so-called level of the tower was like a world of its own, vast and boundless. This was a dark red land, and the air was filled with the piercing smell of fresh blood. Rumble! The moment Chu Bei stepped in, from the distant land came a rush of horse hooves, along with a heart-palpitating roar. After which, a blur of blood-hair mammoths, as though they had gone mad, pounced over. Luo Feng's gaze froze. Looking at the incoming mammoth army, there was no fear on his face. In the slaughter space, he had once killed an army of 100,000 mammoths, not to mention the 10,000 before him. With a low roar, Luo Feng's hands were wrapped in a black light, rushing towards the incoming mammoth army. At the same time, the geniuses from the other training spaces all entered the tower and began their slaughter. Even though there were many of these blood-hair mammoths, they were only at the Star Traveler level. Whether it was strength or speed, they couldn't compare to these geniuses. Hence, every one of them was able to pass the first level. The difference was, other than the 10,000 points, the earlier they passed, the more points they got, and the higher the rankings. Primal Universe, Primal Chaos Square. A group of universe warriors looked seriously at the screen, observing the changes in the rankings of the 1 million geniuses. Of course, their focus was still on the top 100. Indeed, the vast ocean universe country. This Bolin, he's rushed to first place in a flash. I heard that this punk Bolin is the strongest of the vast ocean universe country's younger generation. With the title of Death God, he may very well be the first place of this genius battle. Pengdu universe country's Gu Feng is just like the rumors, his points are still chasing Bolin. Third place is Man Ka universe country's little prince Man Hu, he's really inherited his father's legacy. Comparing back and forth, every time the top 10 comes from a few universe countries. When will our universe country have such a genius? Vast Ocean, Pengdu, Man Ka, these universe countries, within our 1008 universe countries, their overall strength has always been in the top 5, their leaders are all pinnacle knights, all half-universe masters, what's there to be jealous of? That's true, let's just pray that our country will have a genius enter the top 1000. The group of warriors' gazes landed on the projected list, discussing. Vast Ocean, Pengdu, Man Ka, these universe country leaders looked at the names on the list, their brows filled with pride. As for the rankings on the list, they had already expected it. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.